Welcome to Needham and Wellesley, the longest running high school football rivalry in the country. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Scott Stevens, along with my partner, Mike McSweeney here. We're here getting set for the 106th meeting between these two teams, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and the series has been pretty even over the year. It's 49-47, 9 draws, and for once in a long while, Scott, this promises to be a pretty good football game.
It really does. Needham comes in off its biggest win in years over Walpole about 10 days ago. And Wellesley comes in at a 7-2 mark. Needham comes in at 4-5. What does Needham have to do today?
Well, the Rockets have a couple things they need to do. They need to get the running game going early. They got to get Scott Wade involved in the game. The defense has to come up big, and they have to shut down the three-pronged attack from Wellesley. Wellesley's got three quality backs in Malley, Brissett, and Morrison. They really have to work hard on stopping the run, making Wellesley throw the ball, something they really, really don't like to do.
Needham starts its sophomore quarterback today, Joe Baudet. He got his first start of the year against Walpole, obviously a very successful one. And I think that one of the keys today is also going to be the defensive front four, as you talked about the Wellesley rushing game, how the defensive front four for Needham is going to contain that running game inside.
Yeah, the big guys, Sullivan, Tilburg, Scalia, and
Brett Maddox.
Brett Maddox really have to come up big. We've talked about it all year long. The strength of this Needham team definitely is their defense. They tend to give up a lot of yards on the ground, but as we've talked about in the past, they're solid within the red zone. They're only letting up 12 points a game. So, you know, you got a pretty good defense there.
Wellesley's won the last 6 meetings between these two teams on Thanksgiving Day, and that's their longest streak in the history of this rivalry. Needham's longest streak is 5 games back in the mid-60s. It's a very cold, chilly day here at Memorial Park in Needham. The temperature in the mid-30s, but the wind chill is much less than that.
Yeah, and Scott, we talked about the Wellesley offense a little bit. They're averaging 26 points a game. If you noticed, there was only 9 seniors that they introduced for the Rockets, and shows you how young a squad they really are.
Yeah, they really are young. They've impressed at times this year, and they've depressed basically at times this year. I mean, the loss to Framingham was really a disappointing loss, but then they come right back the next week and beat what seemed like an impossible victory for them. They won an impossible win, according to a lot of people, including you and myself, and they surprised everybody.
Yeah, they certainly did, and the Rockets have kind of exercised some demons over the last couple of years. Last year they went out to Natick, beat Natick in Natick for the first time in a long time. This year they go out and they beat Walpole for the first time in 21 years, and hopefully they'll break another string and beat Wellesley here today for the first time in 6 years.
Yeah, they broke the Dedham streak earlier this year of 8 years, and Walpole, as you just said, 21-year streak down the tubes. They're tossing the coin at midfield. The tri-captains for the Rockets, 85 Dan Scalia, 41 Dan Hopkins, and 25 Joe O'Brien. The captains on the other side for Wellesley is Tim Maley, Andrew Leahy, and Mike O'Connor, and Wellesley has deferred, and Needham will receive the opening kickoff, and they will be working against the wind here in the first quarter, which is a pretty stiff wind.
Yeah, pretty stiff wind. Nice, clear, crisp day to play football. Definitely not as cold as last year, Scott, so, you know, we got to be thankful for that on this Thanksgiving morning.
And the sun is out, which is always a plus on Thanksgiving Day. I walked out on the field a few moments before the game, and it's dry and it's in great shape for late November. It's not slick at all. There's no frost on it or anything like that, so the footing is going to be should have no problem.
Yeah, the Crowds crew's really done a great job getting the field ready for this afternoon. The longest running rivalry in the country. Big spread in the Herald yesterday on this game, as well as a couple of the other games. And there you see the band marching off the field. Scoot, some of these guys on a cold day are probably going to get a little colder, overlooking the Needham squad. Some of them with some pretty interesting haircuts down there.
Yeah, they all got together this week, and they all went to the same hairstylist, I think. Many of them bald completely, others with certain designs on their head, numbers shaved in their head, and so forth. And I think the cold, this is the coldest day of the season thus far, and all the players on both sides of the ball not used to playing in this cold, and that could play a factor if one of the two teams is not ready to play in that cold.
Yeah, well, the problem that it causes is your hands get cold, and if you're not used to wearing gloves, it's a different feel of the ball, so these guys are going to have to get out there and get a feel for the ball early. You want to get as many guys touching the ball as early as possible. And the defense is going to have to come up big, and it's going to make the defense's job a little bit easier to pop the ball out. You may see a few turnovers in this game.
Number 88, Eric Senecal, a junior, getting set to tee it up for the Raiders, and he'll be kicking with a pretty good wind at his back. He'll tee it up at the 40-yard line, back deep in the middle for the Rockets. Number 14, Scott Wade, flanking him to his left is number 21, J.P. Falcone, and to his right is number 22, Ted Tracy. Wellesley 37-3 over the past 4 seasons. They lost to Walpole twice and Brookline once. 2 of those losses coming this year, but still a very strong squad. And Needham looking to reach the 500 mark for the first time in 4 years. We're underway at Memorial Park. Bounces down and right through the receivers and through the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback and brought out to the 20-yard line where the Rockets will have 1st and 10 on the first possession of the game. They're led by their sophomore quarterback, Joe Baudet. His backfield will be Scott Wade and Joe O'Brien, number 25. The wideouts is Kima Bly, number 23, and J.P. Falcone, number 21. Across the line, Joe Eisenstadt, Steve Wynn, Bill Carr's at center, Doug Tilburg, and Brett Maddox. The tight end, of course, is big number 85, Dan Scalia. 1st and 10 for the Rockets on the first play from scrimmage here in the 106th Classic between Needham and Wellesley. Baudet takes a snap and rolls right. He's going to keep it, and he's out across the 25, or out near the 25. He picks up 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
And that's what we expect to see from Baudet pretty much all day long, Scott. One of the reasons why he's in there is because he's a little bit more mobile than Nick Guerrero, and you're going to see them rolling him out. Give him a couple options. Give him the option to either keep the ball as he does on this play. Here you see him rolling out. Wade out lead blocking, picks up a nice block, and Baudet picks up 5 on the carry.
2nd and 5 for the Rockets. Split backfield of O'Brien and Wade, 2 tight ends. Handoff to O'Brien. O'Brien's got a hole up the middle, and he's got a Rocket 1st down out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. The defensive front for Wellesley, number 62, Jay Maloney, Mike O'Connor, Andrew Leahy, and number 87, Tim Gleason is the right end. And we'll get to the rest of the...
This time they go to the tri-captain, Joe O'Brien. O'Brien picking up the 1st down yardage on his first carry.
Actually, number 67, Tim Mitchell, is one of the defensive tackles. Andrew Leahy is a linebacker, along with Tim Maley is one linebacker on 1st and 10 from the 31. Handoff to Wade. Wade straight ahead behind. Good blocking. Gain of 4 on the play out to the 35-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 6.
And this is a good early sign for the Rockets. Right now they've run 3 plays. 3 different players have touched the ball, and they picked up positive yardage in all 3 plays. This time they go to their feature back. They go to Wade, and Wade picks up 3. And the offensive line doing the job right now, opening the holes. As you see the tail end of the play, Wade diving forward for the positive yardage.
2nd and 6 for the Rockets. Wade lines up as the lone setback. Connor and Hopkin are lined up as H-backs. Connor goes in motion to the far side, and the handoff goes that way to Scott Wade. Wade out to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
This time you're seeing something a little bit different. Haven't seen the Rockets run out of this formation yet. And Sean Connor being the lead blocking, he does a little shuffle step to his right and lead blocks. So the Rockets showing a little bit. Coach Johan promised something a little bit new for this game, and I think we've seen the start of it right there.
Kima Bly lines up to the far side on 3rd and 4, and Baudet rolls to the near side here. He's going to keep it. He's trying to get a block, but charging through to make the tackle is number 27, Alex Brissett, and he tackles Baudet for a yard loss, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and the Rockets are going to have to punt it into a stiff breeze.
Yeah, this time they roll Baudet to the other side, and Brissett doing an excellent job getting penetration, reads the play well, and brings Baudet down behind the line of scrimmage. And Brissett's a number we're probably going to call pretty much all day long, as he's a solid 2-way player. And Jeff Buckley's going to have to punt for the first time this afternoon. This morning.
Buckley, number 9, and back deep at his own 35-yard line is Alex Brissett. Buckley gets the kick away, but it basically gets knocked down into the stiff breeze and bounces back into Rocket territory, and Joe O'Brien finally downs it at the Rocket 47-yard line. Wellesley's going to have terrific field position on their opening drive. They're led by junior quarterback Mike Sheehan and his three men in the backfield, Tim Malley, number 43, number 26, Rob Morrison, and number 27, Alex Brissett. And the lone wide receiver is number 18, Jason Mullen.
And this is precisely why Wellesley decided to defer and go with the wind, try to get on the board early, as that punt netted about 12 yards.
1st and 10 for the Raiders. Handoff on first down to Malley. Malley inside the Rocket 45 to the 44. Brought down over there by Sean Connor. A gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
And we talked about the Rocket defense at the top of the show, and this is what they're going to have to do. There you see Malley, good pursuit by the Rocket defense, and Connor in there early to make the tackle. Only a pickup of about 2.5 yards from Malley.
2nd and 8, call it, for the Raiders as the ball spotted just inside the Rocket 45-yard line. Rockets jump, but they get back. Handoff on 2nd down to Morrison. Morrison tripped as he gets near the Rocket 40-yard line. Gain of 4, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
It looked to me like Sheehan changed the play at the line of scrimmage there, Scott, as he got up and he saw something he's probably not used to seeing out of the Rocket defense. Changed the play, and the Rockets again doing a good job pursuing, bringing up 3rd and 5.
They have to get to the Rocket 36 for a first down. The scoreboard not working, so we're unable to tell you how much time is remaining here in this first quarter. Would they hope to get that corrected by the start of the second quarter? 3rd down for the Raiders. Straight ahead is Malley. Malley picks up the first down, and he's still going inside the Rocket 35 to the 32-yard line. And that's a gain of 9 on the play from Malley. And the Raiders moving the ball on the ground.
And this is why Malley's such a tough back. Watch him, he gets popped at the line of scrimmage, bounces back inside, and still scrambles forward for an extra 4 yards at the very tail end of the play. And that's what makes Malley such a quality back, Scott. He breaks tackles and he never stops those legs pumping.
1st and 10 at the Rocket 32-yard line. Mike Sheehan looking over the defense. Handoff to Malley on first down. Malley inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Raiders.
Right now, Wellesley's going exactly with the game plan that Coach Levin told us he was going to go with. He wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball a lot. This is a ball club that, in their last game before this, ran for 500 yards on the ground against Rangers.
To the near side is John Powers for the Raiders. Brissett in the backfield with Malley, and lined up as a wing back as Morrison. Handoff to Brissett. Brissett over the right tackle, and he's inside the Rocket 25-yard line, and it's going to bring up 3rd and a couple of yards for the Raiders.
Well, Scalia jumps early. He wants to make a big hit. He wants to feel his impact in his last game here as a Rocket. You see at this time they come to the right side, and you see the pursuit. Luongo in pursuit, and Wade makes the tackle.
The offensive line for the Raiders: Jay Maloney, Tim Mitchell, Andrew Leahy, Mike O'Connor, and Mark Barron. 3rd and about 1.5 yards for the Raiders at the Rocket 23-yard line. Mike Sheehan looks like he's calling a play at the line of scrimmage. Hands it off to Brissett. Brissett cuts back inside the 15, down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Flags on the play, though.
The Rockets hoping for the holding call, and there it is. So the Rockets pick up a big break on that, as that run will come back from Brissett. The Rockets in a short yardage situation, trying to stop it. Again, they come to the right side. Look at him cut back inside. And that's, you know, the Wellesley backs, they do that all day long, Scott. They're good running back, they have good vision, and they know how to cut back inside. And if the Rockets don't get there, wrap them up early, it could be a long day for the defense.
Penalty's going to move it back to the Rocket 34-yard line. 3rd and 11. The Rocket defensive front: Dan Scalia, Brett Maddox, Doug Tilburg, and Chris Sullivan. The linebackers on the outside: Scott Wade and Joe O'Brien. On the inside: John Luongo and Sean Connor. The cornerbacks are J.P. Falcone and Jay Stroll, who's in for the injured Brian Gallerani. Gallerani on the sideline on crutches. The safety is the tri-captain, Dan Hopkins. 3rd and 11 for the Raiders at the Rocket 34-yard line. Hand off to Malley on 3rd down, and Scalia wraps him up for no gain on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down.
And there's the big play Dan Scalia was looking for earlier in this game. Trying to get the defense fired up. Rockets put the Raiders in a 3rd and 11 situation. Then you see Scalia in the backfield awfully quickly, and it brings up 4th and 11. And you got to think Wellesley's going to punt here.
Looks like they're going to go for it, Mike, on 4th and 11. They send Morrison to the slot to the far side. Paul Spencer's wide over there. The tight end, Senecal, is lined up on the near side. Brissett and Malley in the backfield on 4th and 11. Sheehan's going to roll to the far side. He fires incomplete. Sheehan knocked down as he let the ball go. Chris Sullivan putting the pressure on. And then the ball's turned over to the Rockets.
And this is exactly what the Rocket defense wanted to do here on their first outing of the morning. Force Wellesley in a passing situation, 3rd and long, 4th and long. And you see the Rocket rushing pass defense. Chris Sullivan gets in there early, and that's exactly what the Rockets want to do. Sullivan, I believe, has 4 sacks on the year.
1st and 10 for the Rockets. Wade and O'Brien split in the backfield. Hopkins in the slot to the near side with Kima Bly out there with him. Handoff on 1st down to Scott Wade. Wade out just across the Rocket 35-yard line, wrapped up there by Mike O'Connor for the Raiders. A gain of a couple. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Rockets 2nd and long. I'd like to see him maybe run a little play action here. They've run 4 or 5 running plays already in the game. Wellesley's thinking run first. You got Bodé in there. He's got to throw into a pretty stiff freeze. But at this point in time, you want to see if you can get Dan Scalia involved in the offense. He's involved defensively. Now they want to go to the big guy offensively.
Again, Wade and O'Brien in the backfield. Bodé's going to roll to the far side. He's looking to pass, throws downfield, looking for Buckley, and it's going to float out of bounds over there. Defending on the play is Rob Morrison and Chandler Kane, number 36.
Bodé rolling to his right this time, pretty much looking for Buckley all the way downfield. Bodé making a pretty good decision as he throws that one high and wide out of bounds. It got cut up in the breeze a little bit, but Bodé threw it towards the sideline. Smart play. Brings up 3rd and 8, another passing situation for the Rockets.
On 3rd and 8, Bly and Hupkin come to the near side. Wade lines up as a wingback on the near side. O'Brien, the lone setback. On 3rd and 8 for the Rockets at their own 36-yard line. Scalia comes in motion to the near side. A blitz by the Raiders. Bodé's going to roll to the near side. He's got some room. He can turn the corner. He does. And he's out near the 1st down marker. Knocked out of bounds at the 45. And enough for a Rocket 1st down, I do believe.
I think they're going to mark him a little bit short. They're going to say he stepped out just before the 1st down marker. We may see a measurement here. Bodé rolling out again to the left. O'Brien lead blocking. O'Brien picks up a good block. And watch this hit, bang, crashing a helmet, and they're just going to move the chain, Scott. They're not even going to measure.
Chandler Kane with the crushing blow to knock Bodé out of bounds, but not before Bodé picked up the 1st down for the Rockets. As Mike told you, it's 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
And that's a key 1st down for the Rockets, Scott. 3rd and 8, they roll Bodé left and pick up the 1st down.
Hopkin goes to the far side. No backfield for the Rockets. Trips to the near side, and Bodé's just going to go straight ahead on 1st down, out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. A gain of a couple. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Rockets obviously trying to eat up some clock here and pick up some positive yardage, try to get over midfield. As they just send Bodé right through the middle, pick up 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Bodé's going to call a timeout here, Scott. He's not sure exactly what he wants to call. Not a bad play. You got 5 of them in a half, so it doesn't really hurt you to take one this early.
Nick Guerrero started 8 games for the Rockets in this 1994 season. Nick's a junior. He's been banged up by injuries, and he's been playing hurt much of the year. And finally, he sat down against Walpole. Joe Baudet came in and did a terrific job, and Guerrero's still banged up, and that's why Baudet's in there again. And he's actually a more mobile quarterback than Nick Guerrero is, and you've seen it so far. They've entrusted a few carries in him already.
Yeah, he's got 4 carries for 14 yards already on the day. He's the leading rusher for the Rockets at this point in time, and that may hold true throughout the whole game as Baudet, like we said, he's got good size, he's got pretty good speed, and he's playing pretty healthy right now, and he's not afraid to take a hit as he showed on that 3rd down carry. He doesn't mind the contact, and if you're going to pick up positive yardage, that's just another weapon that you have, because they're going to roll him out of the pocket. He hasn't dropped straight back all day long, and you're going to roll him out, give him the option to either turn it downfield or to head upfield on the run.
Crowd still filing in here at Memorial Park. Rockets come out of the timeout with 2nd and 8. They line up with a couple of wingbacks flanking Scott Wade in the backfield. Hupkin now moves in to the left side, and Wade follows him, and he's into Raider territory at the 49-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3 after the gain of 5.
Wade picks up 5 this time. Good blocking up front by the Rockets. They get a good surge off the left side, going right behind Scalia, the big tight end, and 3rd and 3 is a pretty good situation to be in.
Rockets' first penetration into Raider territory on 3rd and 3. They line up in the I. Connor, the sophomore fullback, in front of Scott Wade, the senior tailback. Handoff to Connor straight ahead. Connor plows ahead as Baudet slips on the handoff. It's near the marker, but I think it's going to be just shy.
I think they're going to be just a couple inches short. Little bit trouble with Baudet's footing there as he slipped handing that ball off to Connor. He's about a good yard short, and Baudet looking over to the sideline, and the Rockets are going to go for it, Scott.
Big play early in this ball game for the Rocket offense, looking to maintain possession. 4th and a yard. Baudet calling signals on 4th down. Wade goes in motion now to the far side as Baudet plows straight ahead, and I believe he has enough for the Rockets' 1st down.
I'll tell you what, Scott, right now the Rocket offensive line is getting a real good surge off the line of scrimmage. Baudet, again, just takes this one forward, and they're not even going to measure, Scott. This is unbelievable. They're going to mark the ball, and they're just going to give it to Wellesley. Coach Johan on the sidelines, and the Rockets are discussing this. They want the referees to bring out the chains, and I think this is awfully close, Scott. I can't believe they're just going to turn the ball over to Wellesley like that.
Well, actually, Mike, and you know, all impartiality aside, whatever the word is, I think that's a terrible spot on the play. I mean, Baudet really did get to the Raider 45-yard line on the play, and maybe his knee touched down, I don't know. They had a better look at it, obviously. The Raiders now have 1st and 10, and again, they have good field position working with the wind, although they don't really need the wind too much with the running attack. Straight ahead on 1st down is Malley into Rocket territory, barreling ahead. More than enough for a 1st down for the Raiders to the Rockets' 42-yard line. Hupkin on the stop with Wade finally bringing them down.
Malley picking up 12 here on the 1st down carry. Lead blocked by Morrison way out in front, picking up on the safety, enabling Malley to go for the 12 yards. Wellesley picking up a huge, huge break right here, getting the ball back just around midfield.
Really was a big break early on in this ball game. 1st and 10 at the Rocket 42-yard line. Hand off to Brissett. Brissett running to the near side. Good tackle there. One-on-one tackle by Scott Wade at the 40-yard line. A gain of a couple. It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Raiders.
Wade doing a good job reading the run, coming up from his cornerback position and stopping Brissett for a 2-yard play. Wade doing a real nice job getting down and tackling low, and that's what you like to see.
He wrapped up too, which is going to be a key. The Rockets have to make tackling a priority if they want to stay in the game against the high-powered Raider Delaware wing T offense. 2nd and 8 for the Raiders. Rockets jump, but they get back again. Handoff to Malley straight ahead. Malley gains a yard, but that's about all. Tilburg and Sullivan combine on the defensive front for the Rockets to make the stop.
Sullivan, the junior, number 80, showing why he's out there. He's got a quarterback pressure and a couple of tackles already and doing a real nice job on that play, bringing up 3rd and long. And these are the situations the Rockets want to put Wellesley in.
Yeah, 3rd and long in any rushing attack isn't a good situation. We've seen Wellesley put up the ball just once so far, and it was well overthrown. Basically, the strength is the running game for Wellesley.
Yeah, absolutely. We look back over the season, I don't believe Wellesley's attempted more than 10 passes in a game all season long. We talked to Coach Levin in the pregame show, talked to him at his office, and he said this is the one thing they definitely did not want to do. They did not want to get in situations where they had to go to the passing game because they felt that would work to the Rockets' advantage. There you see we're at the end of the first quarter. We're without a scoreboard, and a very, very fast first quarter, Scott.
Really was, which is going to happen with mainly running plays. The clock's going to keep moving, and apparently the clock isn't fixed for the second quarter. We thought that we heard rumors that they would have it fixed by the start of the second quarter, but apparently not. Let's tell you about other games around the Bay State League today. Walpole is hosting Waltham today in an inter-conference game. Natick's at Framingham, Dedham's at Norwood, Milton's at Braintree, and of course the big one over at Dickinson Field in Newton. Brookline's at Newton North, the winner going to the Super Bowl. 3rd and 7 for the Raiders. Inside handoff to Morrison. Morrison driving towards the marker, and I'm not sure he got it. Maddox is there to hold him up at the Rocket 33-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th and a yard.
Morrison's going to be short by about a yard, and the referees aren't very generous with their spotting of the ball so far today. It looked like Morrison had picked up a little bit more than that and gotten close to the first down flag. Here you go, they run the counter. It goes off the left side, gets wrapped up, and Wellesley looking like they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
4th and a yard for the Raiders. Paul Spencer, number 29, comes to the near side for the Raiders. On 4th and a yard, Malley gets the call, and Malley gets the first down inside the Rocket 30-yard line, straight ahead to the 28-yard line.
And that's Malley's 7th carry on the day. He picks up the first down. He's got 34 total yards. You see it again, they go right off the left side. And look how quickly he gets to the line of scrimmage, Scott, as he just runs over Sean Connor, and Connor's got nowhere to go but back. Connor wraps him up, but Malley definitely winning that battle, dragging Connor with him.
Good block by Alex Brissett on the play as well, pushing Chris Sullivan back 4 or 5 yards. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. This is Rob Morrison getting the call on first down. He's stacked up for no gain on the play. J.P. Falcone is there with the safety, Dan Hopkin. 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Raiders.
Well, the Rockets right now are having a pretty easy time of it, reading what Wellesley's going to do. And you sort of like that as a defensive player. If your defensive backs can cheat up and get into the play, you're going to make some tackles right around the line of scrimmage.
There you get a look at the crowd that's building over there on the other side of the field, over on the hill. 2nd and 9.5. They gave him a half a yard on the play. Brissett and Malley split in the backfield on this 2nd down, and Brissett's going to get the call. He cuts back inside, and he's inside the Rocket 25-yard line before he's pushed back by Brett Maddox, number 66. Brett acting very tough today with the short sleeves on.
Yeah, he's a lot braver than we are, that's for sure. It's actually not a bad day if you're a football player. You got the padding on, your adrenaline's pumping, so I'm sure that'll keep you a little bit warmer than standing around in a broadcast booth with the wind whipping through.
Gain of 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Raiders at the 24-yard line. A lot of Rockets up near the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 6. Malley straight ahead on 3rd down, and he's got about 4 yards down to the Rocket 20, but he's going to be stopped a couple of yards short of the first down. And it looks like the Rockets are going to call a timeout here as they anticipate that Wellesley will go for it on 4th and 2 from the 20-yard line. And Coach Roy Johan wants to talk to his defense about how to stop him on this play.
Well, there you got the last play is Malley just going right off the left tackle, And right now, what's happening on the defensive line is right now the defensive line can worry about rushing, and the linebackers can read the play. They know run is coming. Wellesley's only attempted one pass all game long, and it really makes you drool as a linebacker because you get to sit and read. You don't have to worry about blitzing. You can just sort of fill the gaps. You let your defensive linemen rush, you read where the gap is, and now the linebackers can just come over and fill those gaps, and right now the Rockets are doing a pretty solid job filling the gaps and stopping Wellesley on short runs.
Coach Roy Johan in his 12th season here at Needham High School, his overall record of 50 wins and 70 losses. He might have an interest, a slight interest in the game going on over in Newton. He's a Newton North grad way back in 1962, and I'm sure he'll appreciate me mentioning that. But as we mentioned a minute ago, that Newton North and Brookline, of course, playing for the Super Bowl berth in Division II. They're both 9-1, and the winner will go to the Super Bowl.
This is a big play right here, 4th and 2. If the defense can stop them right here, give the ball back to the offense with the wind at the back, maybe the Rockets would come out and try something new and go to the air a little bit.
Alex Brissett does the duty of popping the balloon on 4th and 2. They got the split backfield with Brissett and Tim Malley on 4th and 2. Malley gets the call. He's going to be stopped near the first down. I'm not sure whether he got it or not. It'll depend on the spot. John Luongo is there to make sure that Malley doesn't get any further, but I believe it's going to be good enough for a Raider first down. They're going to bring the chains in, though.
Yeah, this time they're definitely going to bring the chains in. Watch Malley right here. He gets hit by Sullivan early and bounces off it, and then Luongo does a nice job coming over with the help. As Malley, again, breaking the first tackle, and that's the key on a 4th and 2. Here we'll see Malley right here. He breaks off the first tackle with Sullivan, and then Luongo has to come over and help out. And this is a key spot and a key measurement right here. I think they're going to be short, Scott.
Yeah. They are.
Told.
Good call, Michael. On 4th down, the Rockets will take over as John Luongo comes up with the big play. John Luongo, number 63 for Needham. He's one of the seniors playing in his final games here today for the Rockets. 6 feet, 185 linebacker, and he apparently would like to go into law enforcement according to the program.
I'm sure there's a police force out there that would love to have a guy like John Luongo on it. He's an aggressive guy, and he's got a lot of excitement, especially here today. And you know, we'll probably mention it several times during the telecast, but this is a special game, especially for the seniors.
On 1st and 10 for the Rockets, Sean Connor, the sophomore fullback, goes straight ahead and gets out across the Rockets 20 to the 21-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 8 for the Rockets.
And Sean Connor's one of the players that Coach Levin was concerned about. He knows that he's young, and Coach Levin said he's just been getting better with every carry that he's had, and he doesn't play like a sophomore anymore, and that's pretty big praise from the coach of a team like Wellesley, who's been 37-3 over the last 3 years.
He scored 2 touchdowns 2 games ago against Denham. Fumble on the snap, and it's going to be a fight under the pile there. Wellesley's claiming they have it, no signal yet, and now it is. Wellesley has recovered the fumble on the snap by Joe Baudet, and they again now have their best field position of the day.
And Mike Connor coming up with this, and here's the first weather-related fumble we've seen, as the snap just didn't get into the hands of Baudet, and here's their first turnover of the game, and it goes Wellesley's way, and this is a dangerous position for the Rockets to be in right now. Wellesley's moved the ball a little bit so far in the game, and now the defense is going to have to do it again for the Rockets.
The Rocket defense just came up with a huge play moments ago, and now they're going to have to come up big here. Wellesley starts his drive on the Rockets' 20-yard line. Sheehan's going to roll to his right side. He's under heavy pressure, and he's going to be sacked for a loss. Big play by the big tri-captain, Dan Scalia, number 85. The loss brings the ball all the way back out to the Rocket 29-yard line. A loss of 9. It's going to be 2nd and 19.
Here we go. Luongo sheds his block, and nobody blocks Scalia. I don't know if the person that was supposed to block Scalia let him go and was going out on a route, but Sheehan, with absolutely no time to pass, he's dropped back twice, and he's had guys in his face twice. So the Rockets are definitely doing it with the pass rush.
Scalia had 18 tackles in one game. He's 6'4", 215 pounds, second and 19. Flags on the play on the inside double reverse handoff that Coach Johan had talked about before the game. Brissett, a significant gain on the play, but the penalty goes against Wellesley.
We got an illegal procedure against Wellesley. Here you see it, and it looked like they had two men in motion at the same time, and you just can't do that, folks. So the Rockets catching another break, and they'll back Wellesley up another 5 yards, and we'll do second down over.
Penalty moves it back just inside the Rockets' 35-yard line. It's going to be second and 24. And the Rockets defense doing its job here again, here in the first half. Paul Spencer comes to the near side as a wideout. Malley lines up as the only setback. Inside handoff coming to Rob Morrison. Morrison, a big hole up the middle inside the Rockets' 25-yard line down to the 24. A gain of 10 on the play. Still going to be third and 14 upcoming for the Raiders.
Well, the Wellesley backs are small, but look how quick they are, Scott, as they open up a big hole. Morrison hits it quickly, picks up 10, and now they still have 15 more to go. You pick up 10 yards on a carry, and you still have 15 more to go. That's pretty discouraging.
On third and 14, they send Spencer to the near side again. Morrison lines up in the slot over this way. Brissett and Malley split in the backfield. Rockets jumping a lot today on the defensive front, but they're getting back, and Malley gets the call, and Sullivan's there to wrap up the legs on third and long, and it's going to bring up fourth and 11 for the Raiders at the Rocket 21-yard line.
Well, you definitely think they're going to go for it right here, Scott, even though it's fourth and 10. They got a stiff breeze in their face. They might as well just go for it. A punt's not really going to go anywhere, and the Rockets expend another timeout. I believe that's their third of the first half. They still have 2 more to go. So with fourth and long, the Rockets going to talk things over and see exactly what they want to do here. They got to be careful. A big play right here for Wellesley would just really crush them here in the second quarter.
As I said a few minutes ago, the crowd's still filing in, and actually the crowd has really filled in the past 10 minutes or so. They can fit a lot of people over there on the hill, as you see in that nice shot provided to you by our crew here at Continental Cablevision. Rockets get 5 timeouts. Each team gets 5 timeouts and a half, and Rockets have taken 3 already. They have 2 left. We're unable to tell you how much time is left here in the second quarter, but we can tell you that there is no score thus far in this one, the 106th Classic between these two teams.
And Wellesley right now looking at a 4th and 10. Definitely a passing down, but Wellesley's got backs that can pick up 10 yards of the carry. We've talked about it. They open up some pretty nice holes, and their running backs get there quickly. And it's not often that you think that 4th and 10 is a big play, but this is a pretty big play right here. It's no guarantee that the Rockets can hold here, although the defense has done the job so far.
4th and 10 for the Raiders. Spencer to the far side, and Morrison in the slot over that way, and Sheehan's going to roll that way. He's looking to throw, and it's overthrown to Paul Spencer. And again, the Rocket defense has held, and they've been really holding the Rockets in this one thus far today.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it at the top of the show. The Rocket strength definitely is their defense. Again, they're rolling Sheehan out to the right side, and Sheehan just grossly overthrows this ball, and the Rocket defensive back does a nice job choosing not to catch that ball. Because if he had caught it, the Rockets start from another 15 yards down the field. Good decision. The Rockets playing some pretty heads-up football here in the early goings.
It's tough to judge how hard you have to throw right into that stiff wind, and Sheehan threw it with some mustard on it, but way overthrown. Baudet rolling to the near side. He's going to keep it, and he's going to fumble the ball, and I think it rolled out of bounds over there. The pressure applied by number 68, that's Andrew Leahy, one of the tri-captains for Wellesley.
Leahy just has a clear path to Baudet at this point in time. Baudet rolling to his right this time, and watch Leahy. He'll just come up, and he'll go right through the gap, right at Baudet. And Baudet, again, I'm sure the cold had something to do with that, as he got hit and the ball just popped out. the Rockets, if they're going to roll Baudet out all day long, they're going to have to be aware of the linebackers reading that, and they're going to have to pick up some block. That time, Wade just let Leahy right through.
2nd and 12 for the Rockets. Split backfield of Wade and O'Brien. Looks like Brissett's going to blitz straight ahead. Baudet looking for Scally over the middle, and Scally looked at it too late and just got a hand on it and tipped it up actually quite conveniently for Ryan Sachs, but Sachs wasn't close enough to come up with the pick.
Well, Scally doing a nice job just getting his hand on that, as I think Baudet might have panicked just a little bit as he saw the blitz, and the Rockets actually picked up the blitz, so Baudet actually had some time, but he saw the blitz coming, knew he had to get rid of the ball quickly, and that's just a little bit of inexperience right there. He'll get better at that.
Rockets are working with the wind, and they can afford to put it up and put it downfield. We haven't really got a look at how good Baudet's arm can be. 3rd and 12, we'll see what they do here. O'Brien a single setback, and Scally comes in motion to the near side. Baudet back to pass. Now he's looking to keep it. He's got O'Brien to block out there, but O'Brien lets Alex Brissett take a free shot at Joe Baudet, and Brissett just crushes Baudet, and it's going to bring up 4th and long.
I'll tell you what, Joe Baudet at this point in time is deciding to keep the ball just a little bit too early. Watch this. He tries to sell downfield, doesn't do it long enough, and maybe you can give credit to the Wellesley defensive backs for covering downfield, but I think Baudet is just a little too anxious to turn the ball upfield, Scott, and not giving his receivers time to get open. He's had some time to pass the ball. He now has to take advantage of that.
There you see Jeff Buckley back inside his own 10-yard line, looking to punt it away with the wind at his back, and he gets a line drive out of there. Brissett at his own 40-yard line, going to pick it up, and he's out across the 45, near midfield, out to the 48-yard line. Good punt by Buckley, taking advantage of the wind.
Jeff Buckley's been very, very good at punting all season long, Scott. I think in one game earlier this season, he averaged about 40 yards per punt, and that's pretty good for high school. Brissett doing a nice job picking up some positive yardage for Wellesley after that kick, but with the way that kick was kicked away from him, you sort of like to see him just let it go and not take any chances.
Yeah, he averaged 43.4 yards, as you just said, in the Milton game on 8 punts, so he's got a pretty good leg, and he can kick field goals with some good distance, too. Accuracy, sometimes it can be a question, as it can be for any high school kicker. Brissett on 1st down gains a yard, but that's all. Tilburg is there to stop him and make it 2nd and 9 for the Raiders.
And that's the first time we've called Doug Tilburg's name this morning. Tilburg doing a nice job shedding a couple blocks, getting back inside, and wrapping Brissett up.
Ball on the Raider 49-yard line. No score thus far here in the second quarter. We're probably about 4 minutes left in the second quarter right now. Sheehan to Brissett to Morrison. Morrison inside Rocket territory. Picks up 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Raiders at the Rocket 48-yard line.
Well, here's that double handoff that the Rockets are so wary about. They do a good job reading it, and it looked to me, Shot, that Tilburg was held on the player, or Tilburg would have had him in the backfield. It looked like Leahy had Tilburg wrapped up. Might have been a flag there. No flag called. Joey O'Brien doing a nice job bringing Brissett down.
So 3rd and 6 coming up for the Raiders. Again, they send Paul Spencer to the near side. Brissett and Malley lined up, split in the backfield with Morrison to the far side. Morrison comes in motion, and on the handoff, Brissett slipped, and Sheehan's going to be thrown for a huge loss. Chris Sullivan knocks him down back at the Wellesley 40-yard line. A loss of 12 on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th and a mile.
Tell you what, this is the second or third time we've seen somebody slip, and this time it's Morrison. Morrison goes down. Sheehan doing a nice job saving his own life right there, running for daylight, and the ground could be a little bit more solid than we expected. The early morning, really cold last night. The ground's obviously a little bit frozen at this point.
Eric Senecal, the punter, under him, and it's blocked. It's blocked by the Rockets, and Scally is going to fall on it. J.P. Falco, number 21, got through the line and came up with a huge special teams play for the Rockets.
And this is something we haven't talked about too much, but the Rockets special teams over the past few weeks have just been outstanding. They've blocked a couple extra points, they've blocked field goals, and now they got a punt block. J.P. Falcone breaks through and just gets his right hand on it. You saw the official signaling the block, and Dan Scallion not able to take it down as he saw that ball coming down, and I'm sure Scallion had some pretty big eyes as he wanted to turn that ball and make a really, really big play out of it. Rockets doing a solid job on the defense so far today.
Rockets now have to take advantage of this huge break that they've created for themselves. Here's Wade fumbling the handoff, still can't get it, and Wellesley's recovered. Number 67, Tim Mitchell, falls on it, and the ball goes right back over to the Raiders.
I'll tell you what, Scott, we could be in for a very long day as Wade just doesn't bring that pitch. That pitch is in a little bit low, and Wellesley comes up with their second turnover of the game.
Another crushing blow to the Rockets' psyche as they stopped the Raiders on 4th and a yard deep in the Rockets' own end earlier in the game, and then they fumbled on the next play. Now they block a punt deep in Raider territory, and they fumble the first play from scrimmage after that. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 37-yard line. This is Malley straight ahead. Malley out across the 40, and he's out to the 43-yard line. That's a gain of 5 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Well, we know the Rockets' defense is solid, Scott, but we also know that the Wellesley offense has been solid all year long. Here we go. They're just going to give it to the up back, Malley, and he goes straight to 5 yards. Trying to face mask at the end of that play. If you give this Wellesley offense the ball enough, something's going to break sooner or later. And the Rockets are just asking for trouble at this point in time.
Flag before the play gets started as Morrison slipped as he went into motion. Maybe that had something to do with the penalty, as I believe there's illegal motion on the play by the Raiders. Procedure, the call is they'll lose 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
They're actually going to call a false start on the right tackle, Scott. As the back judge official, they received the call for the false start. Brissett slipped on the play, or Morrison slipped, cutting across, but the right tackle got started a little bit early.
Rockets defense has been out there a long time in this first half. Still no score between Needham and Wellesley. We're deep into the second quarter now. 2nd and 9 for the Raiders. Inside double handoff to Brissett. Brissett hopping over blockers and tacklers out near the marker, and I believe he's got enough for a Raider first down. Gain of 9 for Brissett.
Here we go. This is all second effort on Brissett's part. As you see it, here's that double handoff. This time it works for him. He comes in, and watch this. He just busts right off the tackle of Wade. Wade trying to bring him down a little bit too high. Instead of going down low, around the hips, around the legs, he tried to tackle him high, and this time Brissett was strong enough to break off the tackle. And looks like they're marking him just short of the first down. They haven't moved the chains yet, Scott. They're going to bring him out and measure.
And while they measure, there's a timeout on the field. Wellesley took a timeout. Probably the clock running down. We're not sure, again, how much time is left in this first half. But apparently the time is running out because Wellesley's starting to take their timeouts. The measurement is enough for a Raider first down at the Raider 48-yard line. Coach Andy Levin took over this squad in 1984, and they went winless in their first year. And obviously, since that first year, they've had a significant improvement. The biggest win was probably the win over Natick to end Natick's 38-game win streak back in 1985. Really gave a boost to the program.
Yeah, it gave a big boost to the program, and they've been rolling ever since. And, that's the type of thing that Needham's going to, look towards. They got the big win against Walpole this year, and maybe that'll boost the program. The touchdown club's been doing an outstanding job. And as you can see from the crowd here today, Scott, there is interest in this. I mean, I know it's the Thanksgiving Day game, but the better brand of football they play, the more people are going to turn out.
1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 48-yard line. Morrison in motion towards you in the picture. Handoff to Malley, straight ahead on first down, into Rocket territory, inside the 40, still going, dragging tacklers inside the Rocket 30-yard line. A huge gain on the play of 24 yards for Tim Malley.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. We mentioned the defense has been on the field a lot. Wellesley taking another timeout as we're definitely running down here in the second quarter. And you can tell that the defense is getting a little bit tired because now the Wellesley backers are breaking tackles. And watch Malley here. Malley gets back inside, gets another couple blocks, and now it takes 5 guys to bring him down. And that's just tired ball players out there enabling the running back to carry him forward. Malley up to 69 yards on the morning on 12 carries. So Malley, definitely the workhorse, doing his job now.
He sure is, and they missed him for about 3.5 games this season. Brissett and Morrison certainly do a fine job in the Raider backfield, but the real workhorse is Tim Malley, and he came back after missing a game, and he had a huge effort against Newton North, and the Raiders came out with the victory. Newton North's only loss of the season, and it was largely in part to Tim Malley's effort of over 200 yards on the day.
Yeah, he's really a special player. You know, the teams throughout the Bay State League, it seems that just about every team in the Bay State League has that one special running back, and Malley is it for Wellesley.
Morrison and Brissett, we should say, picked up the slack while Malley was out, but they really missed Malley to get the full attack going. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the Rocket 28. This is Brissett. Great tackle by John Luongo, who broke through the line of scrimmage. A gain of a couple of yards in the play. 2nd and 8, and the Raiders will call another timeout. Again, we do not know how much time is remaining, but obviously it is getting very close to halftime.
Here you see Luongo just reading the run, shooting the gap, and getting to Brissett early. And John Luongo makes plays like that game after game. He's probably one of the most unheralded players on the Rocket defense. We don't talk about him all that much, but he's there game after game, and he shoots that gap that time and makes a great tackle in a key position for the Rockets. Wellesley calling their 3rd timeout, I believe. That'll leave them with 2 here in the second quarter.
I'm told from upstairs that we're about a minute and a half left in this first half. The officials, you see them huddling, or you saw them huddling a moment ago out there in the middle of the field. They're keeping the official clock out there. Upstairs, they're just keeping the clock as best they can, but the officials tell you the real time, and they're telling the coaches right now on both sides how much time is remaining. 2nd and 8 upcoming after the timeout for the Raiders when we come back to action. At halftime here on Continental Cablevision, we'll be showing you a senior send-off. You'll be introduced to all the seniors on both squads, and we'll also get a look at the Needham High School Rocket Marching Band again, I do believe. On 2nd and 8, the Raiders down to 2 timeouts, and the handoff to Morrison, and Morrison stopped for no gain. Tilburg, Scalia, and Sean Connor coming up from his linebacker spot, making a tackle, no gain. 3rd and 8 for the Raiders, and another timeout called by Wellesley.
And again, the Rocket linebackers making the correct reads on these plays. The Rockets have seen Wellesley enough over the past few years that Coach Johan has a pretty good handle on what Wellesley wants to do. And with this weather, going into a stiff wind, it even limits what Wellesley can do even further.
We've seen very little of the passing game on both sides of the ball. No complete passes as of yet in this first half. And the deepest penetration thus far is to the Needham 20-yard line by Wellesley. No one's really come very close to scoring, and Wellesley actually obviously threatening here to score going into the locker room at halftime, and if they do score that, it's got to be a big boost to them, playing a fairly subpar first half, and on the other side of the ball it would be a big deflator to the Needham psyche.
Yeah, you know, and that one touchdown may be the only one we see the way this game's going. So whoever gets into the end zone first, should anybody get into the end zone at all at this point in time, Scott, it's a big advantage. 6 points could be the difference here in this ball game.
And I would have to say that Wellesley would probably have to go for a touchdown if they do score anything going this way, because a field goal would probably be next to impossible from any distance outside of 20 yards.
Yeah, a point after attempt is going to be tough going this way.
Sheehan fakes the handoff, and he's going to be stopped for a loss of a yard. Connor and O'Brien into the stop, called a loss of 2 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 9 for the Raiders at the Rocket 28-yard line. The Rocket defense impressing again.
Well, Wellesley's showing them something a little bit different this time as they try to go to the option, and then you see O'Brien and Connor and Scalia reading option, obviously looking for that. They come up, and now it's 4th and 9 for Wellesley, and they have no choice but to go for it.
4th and 9, clock running down here in this first half. Raiders have Malley and Brissett in the backfield. Mullen split to the far side with Morrison in the slot over there. Sheehan flips as he comes out of the snap, fires downfield, way overthrown. Downfield intended for Rob Morrison. Morrison covered by Hupkin and Falcone down there, and the Rockets are going to take over with very little time left in this first half.
Well, Sheehan this time drops a little bit more straight back than he has, and he slipped out of the gate twice here. He slipped just out of the gate. We'll get a look at it. Watch. He slips coming out, and then watch as he goes to throw the ball. He slips again, and he just turns that one down the field, throws it over everybody. Smart play by Sheehan, just getting rid of that ball downfield where absolutely nobody could catch the ball. Rockets with a stiff breeze at their back may want to think about turning this one downfield, Scott.
They've got Hopkins split to the near side with Bly in the slot over this way, and Scalia lined up on the far side. I'd like to see him send Scalia long maybe, but as Scalia comes in motion to the near side, and they're just going to fumble it on the snap, and the Raiders have recovered again. The Rockets killing themselves with turnovers here in the first half. That's their 3rd turnover. And the Raiders have another huge break. They take over at the Rocket 30-yard line.
Sean Connor just never had his hands on that one as it bounced right off his chest. And the Rockets are making it real easy for Wellesley. You know, if the Rockets are going to score, Scott, it looks like the defense is going to have to come up with a big play. Because they're not getting it done offensively. As the last 3 possessions, they've turned the ball over.
Hand off to Malley. Malley straight ahead. Malley cuts inside to the 24-yard line, and they call a timeout. Does Wellesley, a gain of 7 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3.
Well, Wellesley doing what they do. They give the ball to Malley. Malley not having any trouble holding on to the ball so far today. Picks up 7, and Wellesley takes their 4th timeout. That'll leave them with 1 more.
They're actually, the referee just gave the indication that that was Wellesley's final timeout, and so they will be unable to stop the clock anymore by the means of a timeout here in the first half.
So if Wellesley wants to get in the end zone, Scott, it looks like they're going to have to go to the air or run some quick sweeps and get out of bounds because they can't stop the clock via the timeout. And I don't know, at this point in time, if I was a coaching staff, I may just want to pack it in for this half, go into the locker room, get the guys warmed up, and come out for the second half, especially the Rockets. The Rockets would love to see that happen. Wellesley's definitely going to try to get in the end zone, but not a whole lot of time, no timeouts, and their passing game hasn't worked so far today. So take a knee, let's go in the locker room, let's get some hot chocolate, let's get warmed up a little bit and come out and try it all over in the second half. Because Wellesley will have the ball starting the second half.
Yes, they did defer on the opening kickoff, and they come out of the timeout with 2nd and 4 at the Rocket 24. Malley, the single setback. Here comes Brissett on the inside handoff. Scalia coming up with a huge play.
Wellesley's scrambling to get up to the line of scrimmage.
Right, Brissett broke through the line of scrimmage, had some big yardage through the hole. Now they're going to have to move the chains on the first down. That stops the clock until they move the chains. The official will hold the snap from taking place until that happens.
Probably just going to down it here.
And he does. And again, we're unable to tell you how much time's left, but Wellesley obviously showing an urgency to stop the clock. There's got to be inside of 30 seconds, I'd say, Mike.
Yeah, definitely inside of 30 seconds. It may look like Wellesley maybe bringing out the field goal kicking unit here, Scott. Going to try a long field goal. There you see the last play. Scalia wrapping him up, and it looks like Wellesley's going to attempt a field goal into the stiff wind. This is going to work out probably to be about a 34-yarder, Scott. and Needham's going to take a timeout and make them think about it.
Ryan Sachs is the field goal kicker. He's going to set it up on the Rocket 28-yard line, excuse me, the 23-yard line, so it's going to be 33 yards. And Ryan Sachs has a 25-yard field goal on the season, his only field goal of the year. He's 21 of 29 on point after touchdowns, and into this wind, I got to think that a 33-yard field goal is virtually impossible, and you got to watch out for a fake on Wellesley's part on this play.
Yeah, that's a real good point. I think that's probably what Needham's talking about right now. You don't really have to concern yourself with trying to block this or anything. The wind will probably do a good job at that itself. So what you really want to do is you want to watch for the pass. You want to watch for the fake. The Rockets are going to send some people deep. You got J.P. Falcone, Dan Hopkins back there, and I know the interesting thing at the end of the last play was Coach Levin and half the coaching staff practically running out on the field telling Sheen just to down the ball.
Chris Moriarty, number 12, the holder on this field goal attempt of 33 yards by Ryan Sachs. Good snap, good hold, the ball well short, and Hopkins going to return it out of the end zone. He's got some blocking, but he's going to be brought down over there on the Rocket 10-yard line. And that's going to end the first half here at Memorial Park in Needham. And after one half of play in the 106 Classic between Needham and Wellesley, we're scoreless.
I tell you what, Scott, that was a pretty interesting play right there. We pretty much didn't give Sachs any chance at hitting the field goal. The Rockets obviously didn't think they were going to hit the field goal. Send Hopkins back there to field it. Hopkins had some pretty big kick returns. He returned one for 103 yards that got called back because of a penalty, but he has big play potential as a return guy, and maybe catch Wellesley sleeping a little bit and get that big score that we were talking about, because right now the Rocket offense needs to think about what they're doing. Those guys really, Baudet's got to make sure of his handoff, got to get him in the gut, and the Rockets really need to hold on to the ball as the last three possessions have resulted in turnovers.
A scoreless first half here at Memorial Park in Needham between the Rockets and the Raiders in this 106th Thanksgiving Day game between these two schools. We have some halftime statistics for you, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, we got some halftime Wellesley statistics for you, Scott. Tim Malley, we talked about him. We said he was going to be the feature back. He's got 13 carries, 76 yards. Rob Morrison's 5 carries, 22 yards. Alex Brissett, 7 carries for 32 yards. And the big stats so far to tell you how the Rocket defense has been doing. They were on the field for pretty much all of the first half. Sheehan forced to run the ball 3 times. He's lost 23 yards, and he's 0 for 2 in the passing game. So the Rocket defense simply doing the job that we said they had to do. Right now, what they have to do is they have to take care of the ball on the offensive side, Scott. 3 fumbles in the first half. Not going to win a football game that way. They're very lucky that this game is scoreless to this point.
Very true, Mike. And I saw in the pregame practice for the Wellesley Raiders, they practiced their handoffs for a good amount of time. And it shows during the game. I mean, they haven't fumbled a snap at all or a handoff at all, and the Rockets have fumbled 3 times on this, the coldest day of the season so far. And the Rockets really killing themselves with the turnovers, unable to take advantage of a blocked punt in Wellesley territory, which was actually their deepest penetration on that one play. And they're really killing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely shooting themselves in the foot at this point in time. And the Rockets defensively, like we've said, have been doing it all game long. Offensively, the fumbles are just costing them. And sooner or later, if they don't take care of the football, Wellesley's going to break free. It's definitely going to be a close game. Not going to be a lot of scores. The most problems that Wellesley's having right now with their offense is keeping their footing. The few times Needham has been able to contain them, definitely Wellesley's lost their footing. Sheehan's lost his footing a couple times. Both Morrison and Brissett have lost their footing, which Needham caught a couple of big breaks on. So Wellesley's got to work on keeping their footing here in the second half, and the Rockets basically just have to take care of the football when they have it.
Jeff Buckley set to tee it up from left to right as the ball blows off the tee, and he'll have to reset it. Back deep for the Wellesley Raiders. On the right is Rob Morrison, and on the left is Alex Brissett. The upmen are Chandler Kane and Ryan Sachs. number 25. And up to hold the ball for the Rockets is number 31, Pat Sargent, because this wind is blowing pretty stiff right now. A very bright, sunny day here on Thanksgiving morning, but very cold one as well. Buckley kicks it down, and Chandler Kane takes it on a hop at his own 19, and he's stopped out at the Raider 30-yard line after a return of 11 yards, and the Wellesley offense will have their first possession of the second half.
Number 74, Rob Knight's in on the tackle. Not a very good kick. Cold ball, cold feet. The ball doesn't go all that far. And there you see Rob Knight's getting in there and making the tackle along with John Luongo.
This is a familiar scene from the first half. The defense of the Rockets out there facing the vaunted Wellesley offense, and we don't have any time of possession statistics for you, and nobody does because the clock's not working, but it's going to be overwhelmingly in favor of the Raiders. On 1st and 10, Rob Morrison breaks tackles out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4 for the Raiders.
Big 6-yard carry on 1st down. Morrison breaking a couple tackles. Coaching staff not too happy about this. They try to wrap him up high, and again he breaks free and picks up 6 yards.
Mike Sheehan, the junior quarterback, number 16, leading the charges as Wellesley breaks the huddle and comes up to the line of scrimmage. Tim Malley, the workhorse, in the backfield along with Alex Brissett and Rob Morrison. Malley straight ahead on 2nd down, picks up the 1st down, out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Sean Connor gets a hold of the foot, but Malley picks up a Raider 1st down in the process. Just underway, 3rd quarter, no score between Needham and Wellesley. Scott Stevens along with Mike McSweeney here at Memorial Park in Needham on Thanksgiving Day, and happy Thanksgiving to all you out there.
All you folks at home in front of the TV staying nice and warm.
Kind of like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morrison in motion, but Malley gets the call, hops across the 45, out across midfield into Rocket territory by a nose of the football. Maddox in on the stop along with John Luongo.
And Wellesley just pounding it right at the Needham defense, just like they did the first half. Again, it's Malley. Malley does a nice job hopping over a couple of dead blockers at the line of scrimmage and picks up 6.
Let's set the offense for you if we can. And Eric Senecal, the tight end, Paul Spencer, the receiver, and the lone receiver for the Raiders. We'll get to the line in a moment. 2nd and 4. Hand off to Malley on 2nd down, and Tilburg and Luongo combined to stop him. Malley gained a yard on the play, maybe 2, and it's going to bring up 3rd and a yard.
And Tilburg, the one guy on this defensive line that could bring Malley down with an arm tackle. Watch this, sheds his block, wraps him up with the left arm, and then waits for help to get there. And there aren't too many guys out there that are going to stop any of these running backs with arm tackles. Doug Tilburg just happens to be one of them.
3rd and a long 1 or a short 2, however you want to look at it. Ball at the Rocket 48-yard line. Hand off to Malley. Malley straight ahead, and he's got enough for the 1st down before he's dragged backwards. Maddox, Connor, Tilburg, and O'Brien combined to make the stop. The offensive line for the Raiders, Jay Maloney, Tim Mitchell, Andrew Leahy, Mike O'Connor, and Mark Barron is in the middle of that offensive line.
And there you see Malley just following his lead blocker, picking up the 1st down. Nothing too extraordinary from this Wellesley offense. They keep it simple because it works.
Yeah, they like to stay between the tackles for the most part. 1st and 10 from the Rocket 45. Handoff to Morrison. Morrison breaks Tilburg's tackle, breaks another tackle inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Tilburg back in on the play along with Luongo, but Morrison picks up 7 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
Well, this time Morrison was just too fast for Tilburg, as Tilburg looked like he was going to get there. And watch Morrison, he just blasts right past him before Tilburg can get an arm on him.
The defensive front for the Rockets, Dan Scally and Chris Sullivan are the ends. The tackles are Brett Maddox and Doug Tilburg. Outside linebackers, Scott Wade and Joe O'Brien. On the inside, John Luongo and Sean Connor. 2nd and 3 for the Raiders. Straight ahead to Tim Malley. Malley stood up at the line of scrimmage by John Luongo. Malley might have got a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for the Raiders. The secondary for the Rockets is J.P. Falcone, Jay Stroll, again in for the injured Brian Gallerani, and Dan Hopkin, the tri-captain, back playing center field for the Rockets. 3rd and a yard now coming for the Raiders. And another big play coming up for the Rocket defense. Brissett and Malley split in the backfield. Chandler Kane lines up as a wingback. Handoff to Brissett going to the far side, and Brissett stops shy of the first down. Great work by Jay Stroll to come up from his cornerback position. Helped out on the play by Dan Scalia, number 85.
Well, again, the Rockets do a nice job reading this. They go to the right side. Scalia doing a nice job tying up 3 would-be blockers. They're triple teaming Scalia on that play. And Wellesley's trying to take a timeout as they couldn't decide what they want to run. And pretty much, Scott, what we're going to see is I don't think we're going to see anybody punting going right to left at this point in time in this game, because that wind's still whipping up there. And 4th and a yard, you're definitely going to go for it. 4th and 7 or 8, you'd think most teams are probably going to go for it anyway, because that wind is definitely whipping up there, and punting's not going to get you anywhere anyway.
Yeah, it's really not worth it. You're right, Mike, to punt it into the wind, because you're only going to get a 10. You see a shot of the flag blowing up at the top of the hill, but you're really going to get a 10-yard punt at best out of any sort of punt into the wind. We want to mention a score from over at Dickinson Field in the 100th game between Brookline and Newton North. Halftime score, Brookline 14 and Newton North 7. And again, the winner... Go ahead, Michael.
We saw Brookline in the opening game here. They jumped out to a 33-zip lead on these Rockets, and they got a couple of pretty good running backs over there in Jason Smith and Ward.
They sure do, and Newton has pretty good people at the skill positions as well, led by Tim McNamara and Nathan Busa. 4th and a yard for the Raiders at the Rocket 36-yard line. Huge play, and we got a flag. Eric Senecal, number 88, the tight end, jumped before the play got started, and it'll move him back 5 yards and make it 4th and 6, and I'm sure it'll make bring a different play from the playbook from Andy Levin.
Yeah, now you got 4th and 6, and you have to pick them up. Tell you what, right now, Scott, we've seen both teams pretty much shoot themselves in the foot here in this game. The Rockets not being able to hold on to the ball offensively, and Wellesley coming up with some inopportune penalties at some inopportune times to take them out of position to gain first down. So both teams right now not really doing it on the offensive side of the ball, and it looks like Wellesley's going to send out the punting team.
Eric Senecal, number 88, the punter. Watch for the fake, though. A flag on the play, and we got delay a game, I'm sure, against the Raiders. A flag coming from the referee behind the play. It is delay a game, and that'll move them back 5 more yards. And Wellesley, while the Rockets kill themselves with turnovers, Wellesley has killed themselves with penalties, and it's going to be 4th and 11 for the Raiders at the Rocket 47-yard line.
Well, you don't know which is worse at this point as a coach. Wellesley's killing themselves with mental mistakes at this point in time. The Rockets are killing themselves with physical mistakes, and most coaches will take physical mistakes over mental ones any day.
Rockets had the rush on. Senecal gets a good punt away, and Hopkins calls for a fair catch at his own 24-yard line and does a good job reading where that ball is going to come down with the wind blowing it back towards the line of scrimmage.
Well, Hopkins doing a nice job with the fair catch, making sure that he does catch it, as the Rockets were coming after the kick again, and Hopkins had no blockers out in front of him, nothing but a sea of white jerseys, and did the good thing by calling the fair catch and making sure that he brought it into his chest and falling on it.
Hopkins started this season as the starting tailback in the opening game. He was the wide receiver last year, and he's at that position now, but he volunteered to be a running back at the start of the year, and actually now he's gone back to a position he's actually more comfortable at. That's wide receiver, as Scott Wade emerged in the Rocket backfield. On 1st and 10 for the Rockets at their own 24. Bode straight ahead, and he's out near the Rocket 35-yard line and close to a Rocket first down, actually. Very near the marker, and they might have to bring out the chains. Well, that gives us a chance to tell you the Rocket offense. Joe Bode, the sophomore quarterback, is the quarterback, number 12, and the running backs are Scott Wade and Joe O'Brien, and Sean Connor, another fullback, comes in from time to time. Keema Bly, J.P. Falcone, and Jeff Buckley share the receiving duties, and of course the big tight end is Dan Scalia. 1st and 10, indeed it is for the Rockets, and they have 3 tight ends, and straight ahead is Scott Wade, and there's a big wall there by the Raider defense. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Well, the Rockets' most successful play from scrimmage so far today has been that quarterback keeper, as Beaudet's kept it 3 times, and he's picked up positive yardage each time. He's picked up a first down on the first carry here of the second half. And the Rockets look like they're going to try to bang it out on the ground as well, as it's a little too cold, I guess, to throw the ball.
Wade actually picked up a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 at the 30, just outside the Rocket 35-yard line. Fakes a handoff to the first man through, and O'Brien gets the call on 2nd down. He's out to the 39-yard line, call it the 38-yard line. A gain of 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
Well, the Wellesley defense has got to be pretty rested. They haven't played defense all that much here in this game so far. I know a lot of these guys play both ways.
The offensive line for the Rockets, Doug Tilburg and Brett Maddox on one side, Joe Eisenstadt and Steve Wynn on the other, with Bill Carr the center. 3rd and 6 for the Rockets. Fake play action pass. Beaudet looking downfield for Hopkins. Hopkins there, but just over the fingertips, as on the coverage down there is number 26, Rob Morrison, and he was helped out by Chandler Kane, number 36. The crowd calling for a flag on the play, but really it was an uncatchable ball.
Definitely an uncatchable ball. The Rockets show a little play action here, and Beaudet looking for Hopkins all the way, and Hopkins well covered on the play, and the ball just sailed over his head. So the Rockets go 3 and out with their first possession, and things are pretty much starting the way they ended the first half, except the Rockets held on to the ball for 3 plays.
And that's a plus. Jeff Buckley will punt it away on 4th down. Back deep is Alex Brissett. Brissett's going to let it hop in front of him. He takes it on a hop at his 23. He's got some running room out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. And the Raiders will take over the possession there. There's about 4 or 5 minutes gone here in this 3rd quarter between Needham and Wellesley. Still no score on Thanksgiving morning.
Buckley gets off a knuckleball. Brissett does a nice job, gets a charity hop, picks it up, turns it upfield, and Wellesley again with good field position.
First down for the Raiders, Mike Sheehan with Malley in the backfield. Morrison comes in motion to the near side. He gets the handoff, and the Rockets read that play beautifully from behind. I believe Tilburg got a jersey from behind, or was it Chris Sullivan, and he was helped out by 4 or 5 other Rockets, including Joe O'Brien. You see in your picture.
I tell you, that man right there, Joe O'Brien, makes this play possible. He contains the outside and makes Morrison turn it back inside, turns it back inside, and there's a host of Rockets there to stand him up. And we're going to have an official timeout here, Scott. The referee's going to come over and talk to the Rockets coaching staff. I don't know what the problem is. Coach Johan's shaking his head.
2nd and 10 after no gain on the play by Morrison. Mike, what's the confusion down here? I think
the referees are coming over to tell the band not to play while Wellesley's coming up to the line of scrimmage. And that seems to be the problem. The band getting a little bit too rambunctious for the referees.
We could have a problem with the wind blowing into the faces of Wellesley. The dirt blowing from the infield down on the left end. Sheehan back to pass, looking for his big tight end, Senecal, and it's dropped out across the 45-yard line. A good coverage over there by Dan Hopkins, and the pass was a little low for Senecal. 3rd and 10.
Senecal was wide open on this play, but Mike Sheehan having a lot of trouble with this wind as that ball just gets knocked down in the wind, and Senecal really didn't have a chance to catch it as it was down around his kneecaps.
3rd and 10 upcoming. Jason Mullen goes to the far side. Malley lines up as the lone setback with Brissett and Morrison on the wings. Senecal, the tight end, lines up to the near side. And Morrison gets the call on 3rd and 10. J.P. Falcone is there to hold on until Hopkins and Tilburg come to help him out with Luongo. It's going to bring up 4th down at the Raider 44-yard line, 4th and 4.
The Well, the Rockets, again, still doing a solid job on defense. The big hole opens up, but Falcone doing a nice job from his defensive back spot, sliding into the gap where the running backs are going, and they're stopping them. Wellesley forced a punt again.
Senecal, the punter. Heavy pressure, and Luongo almost got a piece of that.
The ball was tipped. And it's going to be down at the Rocket 34-yard line. So the Rockets bringing heavy pressure on all three punts, and again get a piece of that one. No return.
We have about 4 or 5 minutes left in this third quarter. We've said it before, we'll say it again. The clock has not worked all game long, and it's really difficult and unfortunate for everyone here not to know how much time is left in enjoying this game between Needham and Wellesley.
Yeah, a little bit difficult, but I want to go back to that punt. The Rockets have come after all three punts. I think they may be better served by laying off and actually trying to return. They got big play capability out of Hopkins. Take your chances with that.
1st and 10, split backfield of Wade and O'Brien. Wade gets the call. Wade's been quiet today, but he breaks a big one across the 45 into Wellesley territory, 40-30. And Sheehan's gonna bring him down as Wade gets inside the Wellesley 10-yard line. A huge play for Scott Wade. The biggest offensive play of the ball game for the Needham Rockets.
Here we go, just a huge hole, good seal block by Scalia. Wade does a great job getting outside, a couple stiff arms, outrun some people, and Sheehan has to come over from his safety position to make the play. Rockets down inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal.
58 yards on the run by Scott Wade, 1st and goal at the 8-yard line, and the Rockets knocking on the door. Bode takes a snap. He's going to keep it to the near side, cuts back in, and he's down near the goal line. I think he's around the 2-yard line.
And again, they roll Bode out. Everybody rolls with him, and he picks up positive yards. There you see Bode walking back towards the huddle. We get a look at it. Everybody pulling. Good blocking. Bode goes out of bounds just around the 2. See if he keeps it here right up the middle. It's been working all day long, Scott. Get in the end zone for 6, and this place is going to go bonkers.
They've got to hold on to the football, though. 2nd and goal from the 2. Wade, Connor, and Hopkins in the backfield. Bode takes a snap, gives it to Wade. Wade's got a hole, and he's in for the touchdown. Scott Wade gets the Rockets on the board, and they're up 6-0 over Wellesley.
Wade shows real good patience on this play. You'll see him bounce out to the right side, and he just barely gets into the end zone. Scott Wade doing a nice job as that play was designed to go right off tackle. That hole was sealed. Wade got to the line of scrimmage and bounced outside to get into the end zone. Nice run by Scott Wade.
Jeff Buckley on to try the extra point through the hold of Dan Hopkins. Good snap, and the extra point is good. So the Rockets have a 7-0 lead over Wellesley late here in the third quarter. And the crowd really fired up now, Mike.
Yeah, it fired up, and it all started with the big play. I don't know if we still have it on our replay deck. If we could re-rack that 58-yard run by Scott Wade, that sets everything up. Like we said, the Rockets had to hold on to the football if they were going to have success, and that's what they did this time. Here's the touchdown run. Wade, you'll see him, he bounces out to the left of your screen and just barely gets in the end zone. I'd like to see that 58-yarder if we could get a chance. The Rockets are gonna huddle up here and talk about the kickoff, but that big play, as you can see with this big crowd here, really got them charged up. The defense is held all game long, and that set up the offense. We were waiting for a big play. We knew a big play had to happen for something to be positive for the Rockets. They get the big play. 2 plays later, they get in the end zone. They're up 7-0. Okay, we're going to roll that 58-yarder. Watch this block by Scalia right there in the corner of your screen. And then watch Wade. Stiff arms one guy, continues downfield, outrunning the defensive back, and Sheehan has to come over and just barely gets Wade. And wow, Scott Wade, got to be happy about that play.
Buckley's kick is going to come down to Ryan Sachs at his own 14-yard line. Sachs out across the 30, and he's out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Another good block on the play, on that big play by Scott Wade by Brett Maddox, who sealed off the tackle and kept him out of the play, and sealed off the defensive end, I should say, for Wellesley. One point I want to mention here, Mike, is that Wellesley has been a great second-half team all year, and they have 3 comeback victories in the second half. One against Natick that was on the last play of the game, and also against Dedham they came back to win late in the fourth quarter. Here's the double reverse on the inside handoff, and the Rocket defense is there, and Brissett might have lost a yard on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 11.
Well, the Rockets right now have to be careful. They can't get so excited that they get careless. And right now in this first play, they do a good job. They read the play, and they stop him for no yards on the play. Here you see it, the double handoff. The Rockets ready for it, and Luongo in on the play with Scott Wade. So Wade does it offensively, and now he's doing it defensively. But again, the Rockets have to be careful here on defense not to get too excited and get careless.
2nd and 10, actually. Malley up the middle, hops over a blocker and gains 3 on the play, but Tilburg, Luongo, Scalia, and Jay Stroll are there for the Rockets.
Malley with that carry, I believe, brings him up over 100 yards on the day. Here you see just a little 3-yard dive here, but again, the Rockets doing a nice job. The linebacking core, once again, solid, as Malley has 19 carries for 94 yards now.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Raiders. 3rd and 6, and Malley and Brissett split in the backfield. Sheehan's going to roll to the near side. He looks like he's going to keep it, and he's going to be stopped well short of the first down marker. The Rocket defense is fired up.
It looks like the Rockets are going to try to call a timeout here. Again, Joey O'Brien doing a nice job sealing the outside alley so that Sheehan has to turn it back inside. And there he has the Rocket defense waiting for him as Tilburg was waiting to stand him up. And there you see the Rockets huddling here. It's 4th and 4. Going to be careful of the fake punt.
I think the reason they called a timeout, Mike, was the third quarter's winding down, and they want to force Wellesley to punt into this wind. The wind will be a tremendous factor either way, the punt into the wind or with the wind.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that. They definitely want to have Wellesley punting into the wind. And let's see what they do here on the punt, Scott. Let's see if they come after it for the 4th time or if they try to get a return this time. I'm for the return, you know that.
If you just joined us, J.P. Falcone blocked the punt in the first half. Hopkins going to drop back deep. Eric Senecal is going to kick it away for Wellesley. The rush is on. Luongo gets through, but pretty decent punt into the wind, but it takes a Needham hop out to the 45-yard line. We got a flag back near the original line of scrimmage as Sean Connor and Mike O'Connor get into it. Joe O'Brien plays a little law enforcement of his own over there, tries to break it up, but we'll have to wait and see what the official calls. It was after the punt, so it'll still be Needham ball.
You got to think these are probably going to be offsetting personal fouls, and we'll just play it from there. Got a personal foul on the defense, personal foul on the offense. They'll offset, and the Rockets will take over the ball where it lay. Or are they going to replay the down? Looks like they're going to make Wellesley punt it again. They'll replay the down with the offsetting penalties. The Rockets again coming after that punt. Luongo got through, didn't get through close enough to block it.
Senecal's kick of 11 yards into the wind. And Coach Roy Johan makes a decision, hoping that it'll actually be shorter this time as 2 men drop back deep now, Hopkins and Falcone. In the receiving mode, Senecal. No pressure on this time, and a good kick by Senecal that time, but again it takes a Needham bounce, and it touched a Needham player. It might be Wellesley ball. I think it might be. No signal yet. They're going to talk about it. I think it hit John Luongo's leg as Luongo was trying to block.
They're going to give the ball to Wellesley. Here we go. We're going to roll this and see what we can see. Here comes a punt. Hopkins does a good job getting away from it. And there you see it. It hits Luongo in the leg as Luongo was trying to make a block. And again, another big break for Wellesley.
Luongo in the process of trying to block number 52, Andy Renzella, for Wellesley, who we haven't heard much from today. He's another one of the key players for Wellesley. Here it is again. You just see it go off the shin of John Luongo right there at the 41-yard line. And the Needham coaching staff really irate, led by John Friedis over here on the near side. Coach Roy Johan out there right now as well. But really, I mean, it's pretty clear from my angle, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely hit Luongo. I guess the question is, did it hit the Wellesley player first? Number 52 for Wellesley. Renzella was down there as well. Luongo was trying to block on Renzella, and it hit Luongo in the foot. And it definitely looked like it definitely only hit Luongo to me, Scott, and I think the referees are making the right call. Coach Friedis out there pleading his case. Coach Johan out there trying to get Friedis to come back off the field. You don't want to tag on a unsportsmanlike conduct foul, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter as well, as they're going to turn around and Wellesley's going to get the ball.
So this game flying right through. We're at the end of 3 quarters, and the score at the end of 3 quarters, the Needham Rockets 7 and the Wellesley Raiders nothing. Wellesley just got a big break, and they'll have the ball at the Rockets' 41-yard line to start the 4th quarter. And again, they're a 4th quarter team, as I mentioned a minute ago. And obviously, they have the capability of coming back.
Well, there's been some weird games in the history of this series, Scott, and we're in the middle of one right now.
First down carry to Maley, and Maley stopped for no gain. Might have lost a yard on the play. 2nd and 11, Scalia and Connor and John Luongo are there to make the stop. A loss of a yard on the play. Actually, no gain, we'll call it, in 2nd and 10.
John Luongo is just playing an outstanding game right now. What a way to go out, as it looked like he was almost lined up in the Wellesley backfield right there, as soon as the player got to the line of scrimmage, Luongo was there.
There is some excitement on this side of the field over here, and sounds like we're yelling, but I can't hear myself.
I can't hear myself either. I can hear you, though.
Oh, good. Morrison in motion to the far side. Sheehan swings it out that way to Spencer. Spencer cuts back inside, but Chris Sullivan comes out from his defensive end position to make the stop. A gain of 3. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Raiders.
I like Chris Sullivan a lot. He reads and reacts real well. He reads the screen right here, and watch how fast he closes on this play. Comes from his defensive end position, reads the screen, tries to deflect it, and then reads and reacts. He gets right back into the play and makes the tackle. Great play by Chris Sullivan.
3rd and 7 at the Rocket 38-yard line. Malley and Brissett in the backfield. Morrison lined up as the wingback. Rockets all up near the line of scrimmage. Sheehan, 3-step drop, fires out to Spencer, incomplete. And it's going to bring up 4th down for the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders weren't exactly concentrating on picking up the first down on that play, as they run the little flat pattern. And again, Sheehan just having trouble throwing this ball with the wind. Either way he throws it, he's having trouble reading it, because that one just got away from him as well.
4th and 8, do you go for it?
No, I think they're definitely going to punt. The question is, do you even bother to try to return it? I think Hopkins going to stand back around his 10 and just watch this one sail over his head.
Senecal finally has the wind to work with, but he has a bad snap, and he gets the punt away. A tremendous play by Eric Senecal. The ball goes into the end zone as Dan Scalia got a piece of it, actually. He was in there, and he got a slight piece of it, but certainly not enough to affect the distance of the punt. That went into the end zone for a 38-yard punt and a touchback.
Tell you what, Dan Scalia's real lucky he did get a piece of that, because he wasn't real concerned with getting a piece of the football. He saw the bad snap, saw Senecal in a prone position, and he was going to make the hit, playing like a true defensive player who likes contact, and he was more interested in hitting Senecal and maybe knocking the ball away from him before he even got the punt off, and he's fortunate that he actually did get a hand on the ball.
Hopkins lines up to the far side. Kima Bly lines up to the near side. on 1st and 10. Wade gets the carry. Wade bounces off a would-be tackler and gets out to the 23, make it the 24-yard line, a gain of 4 on the play. Chandler Kane on the stop for Wellesley.
Wade, nice second effort to pick up the 3 yards. And right now the Rockets, they have the lead, they have the ball, they're going to keep it on the ground. Going into this win, I don't think we'll see Joe Baudet even attempt to pass at this point in time. Pretty much going to roll him out, turn it upfield, give the ball to Wade, give the ball to O'Brien, maybe give the ball to Sean Connor, eat up as much of the clock as possible.
2nd and 6 for the Rockets. In motion goes Hopkin to the far side. Baudet is going to roll that way, and he's going to keep it. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he's knocked out of bounds over there on the far side. That's Andrew Leahy, number 68, who bumped him out of bounds. Short of the first down, 3rd and 2 coming up for the Rockets.
Rockets doing a real nice job rolling with the quarterback at this point in time. Baudet rolling out, Scalia with a seal block. You got Wade and O'Brien out in front. Baudet picks up 3. It's going to be 3rd and a pretty long 2.
You might want to make it 3. They have to get to the 30. O'Brien's going to line up as a single setback. Hopkin and Kima Bly go to the far side. Scalia, the tight end, lines up to the near side, and we'll see him go in motion to the far side any second now. There he goes. Brissett's going to blitz. Handoff to O'Brien straight ahead, and he's got the first down. Tripped up by Maloney, Jay Maloney, number 62, but a first down for the Rockets nonetheless.
Joey O'Brien gets a huge hole to run through, and luckily for Wellesley, they trip him up right there. I couldn't see who was diving into the play, but O'Brien had some room, and that was a big play-saving tackle right there as they just got a hold of his ankle, and O'Brien fell forward.
This all-underclassmen offensive line for the Rockets now really comes into play as the Rockets got to control some clock here. They got to create some holes and allow the running game to go to work to eat the clock for the Rockets. On the other hand, Wellesley has to stop the ball and get the ball back as they do there. Alex Brissett stops Joe O'Brien for no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Rockets.
Brissett doing an excellent job filling that gap right there, and just a punishing blow right at about the line of scrimmage. Kima Bly running in from the sideline with the play. Jeff Buckley trotting over to the sideline. Bly, a wide receiver. Maybe the Rockets on 2nd and long have thoughts about going to the air as they send Hopkin out wide.
O'Brien and Wade line up in the backfield. Wade, big hole up the middle, 40. He's going to beat Sheehan, but he slips down and falls at the Raider 44-yard line. Big hole opened up as Wellesley had a huge blitz on, and Wade, it was in a foot race with Sheehan, but Sheehan had an angle, so he wanted to cut back to the near side, as you see right here.
Well, Wade not having that breakaway speed and Sheehan having great closing speed. As Wade goes to try to cut it back and wait for a block, he slips and falls, but Wellesley bringing everybody, and Baudet barely got that ball in the hand of Wade, and as a result, there was just a huge hole. All the linebackers were coming, so once he got by the line of scrimmage, there was nobody there.
104 yards for Scott Wade on 9 carries. And after the 25-yard gain there, here he is again going to the far side, and he's just inside the 45-yard line of the 44, a gain of a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Rockets.
This play just takes way too long for the Rockets to develop this, to get any action. They see Scalia in motion. He picks up his block, but O'Brien just a little bit late getting to his man, and Wade no room to turn the ball upfield.
Ryan Sachs, number 25, in on the stop for the Raiders.
Hey, Scott, what do you think about a naked boot? Send everybody right, bring Baudet back to the left. I think it's open.
It was open on that play as Baudet came to the near side with nobody near him. Handoff on 2nd and 9 to Wade. Wade trying to bounce off the tackler, still on his feet, trying to get to the outside, but he's forced out of bounds out there. Good job by the Wellesley defense to string it out. He gained a yard on the play. We'll call it 3rd and 8. Number 67 on the play, Tim Mitchell, forced him wide.
That was probably the toughest 1-yard run I think Scott Wade's ever had, as he was banged at the line of scrimmage, bounced outside, and then by the time he got to the corner, there were 4 or 5 players there to whack him. Here you see Wade, he just kind of goes down the line of scrimmage, just getting hit along his way, gets hit by 3 players, and then Brissett comes up and wrestles him out of bounds, and the Rockets take another timeout, and they'll come over and discuss this 3rd and long.
I was mistaken. It was Chandler Kane, number 36, who forced Wade wide on the play. A nice play. We're probably 3 or 4 minutes into the 4th quarter. We're again unsure about the time remaining. The scoreboard has not worked all game long, but we do know what the score is, and Needham's on top 7-0. You're watching the 106th Thanksgiving Day game between Needham and Wellesley, and it's the longest running rivalry in the country. It usually draws a huge crowd, as it has today. It's basically a reunion for many of the alumni here at Needham High School and at Wellesley High. Wellesley basically stays over on the hill over there, while Needham stays over here on the near side. Actually, I think it's an advantage for Wellesley because they can spread themselves out a bit more over there on the hill.
They can spread themselves out, a little bit more room to move, although on this day, I don't know that you really want all that much room. You want as much body heat as possible, so I think it's better to be over here on the Needham sideline, you know, rubbing up against other people, generating some warmth.
3rd and 8 for the Rockets. Just don't get too close, Mike. Hopkins in motion to the near side. Beauday's going to roll this way. He's cutting back. He's got a block, and he's actually wrapped up by Leahy. A good play by Leahy. Gain of 4, 3rd and 4 for the Rockets.
And again, Beauday with absolutely nobody downfield, didn't even send out any receivers as everybody's lead blocking for him. Here you see the whole brigade coming. And by the time he tries to turn it upfield, big number 68 is in on the tackle. That's the tri-captain, Andy Leahy. And now the Rockets are going to be forced to punt. The Rockets working on a couple new wrinkles to their fake punt, Scott, earlier this week, but I think they'll try to send this one off.
Buckley at midfield gets it away into the wind, and Brissett's going to come up on the run, takes it at the 20, and good job by the special teams to stop Brissett from gaining any more yardage as he caught that ball on a dead run, and he gained 7 yards on the return.
Brissett doing a nice job coming up and fielding that punt. Rockets doing a nice job covering downfield. And this is a big series right here for the Rockets. Here you see the return. Rockets getting pretty good coverage downfield. They stop him before he can get any momentum going. And as I mentioned, this is a big series right here for both Wellesley and for Needham, as this Wellesley has a long way to go, a sustained drive. You know they're going to have to do it on the ground. It's going to eat up a bunch of clock, and the Rockets obviously want to stop them and get the ball back and try to eat out the clock themselves.
Handoff on 1st down to Alex Brissett. He's out across the 30-yard line for a gain of a couple. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
And Brissett a little bit upset with himself as he thought he probably could have broken that free and gotten into the Rocket backfield, but just couldn't quite do it. Here you see it. Inside handoff, and Scalia just manhandling him as Brissett tried to get around him and couldn't. Scalia's just too much of a wide body for him.
2nd and 8 at the Raiders' 30-yard line. Sheehan back to pass, looking downfield, looking long actually. Morrison's down here, and Hopkins is there to break up the play. The center fielder for the Rockets has been breaking up plays all year long back there in the defensive backfield, and he does it again there.
Sheehan with pretty good time as he drops back and rolls. He's got pretty good blocking, and the Rockets doing a nice job covering downfield. There you see Sheehan with time, throws it downfield. Again, it gets cut up in the wind and just goes through the hands of Dan Hopkins. And Hopkins led the team in picks last year, and I believe he has 3 or 4 this year.
He's got 3, and he returned 1 for a touchdown earlier this year.
And he had the big return in the Newton North game as well.
Sheehan on 3rd and 8, back to pass again. He's got Brissett. Brissett's got the 1st down out across the 40-yard line, stays in bounds, and keeps the clock moving. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 42.
Brissett, they roll him to the left this time. Watch the catch by Brissett. One-handed grab, turns it upfield, picks up the 1st down. Good concentration on a cold day by the running back, and that's the first completion of the morning for Wellesley.
First completion of the day for anybody. Unbelievable. We have one in the 4th quarter. Sheehan, it's actually Malley cutting up and into Rocket territory. He had me fooled. And Malley gained 13 on the play, a first down for Wellesley in Rocket territory at the 45, and I was totally fooled on that one.
Wellesley feeling pretty good about themselves right now as they're starting to move the ball again. They give it to the early man, Malley, and Malley picks up 13, and now he's over 100 yards on the day. And Wellesley inside Needham territory, threatening here in the fourth.
First and 10 at the Rocket 45-yard line. Morrison and Malley split in the backfield. Mullen to the near side. Brissett lines up as a wingback to the far side. Sullivan jumps but gets back for Needham. Malley on first and 10, wrapped up for no gain. That's Sean Connor who got to him first. Beautiful play by the sophomore Sean Connor to break through the line of scrimmage and wrap him up for the loss.
Well, the Rockets are just sending their linebackers, and Connor finds a gap, shoots right through, unblocked, has a little trouble wrapping Malley up, holds him long enough to get help, and Sean Connor playing a pretty solid game defensively as well, as that's the second or third time he stopped a runner right at the line of scrimmage.
Lost about a half a yard on the play, did Malley. It's about second and short 11, long 10. Sheehan, quick drop, has Spencer, and Spencer can't hang on to the ball at the Rocket 40-yard line. Incomplete, bringing up third and 10. We talked about it before the game. We talked about it all week, actually, Mike. We said the key would be for the defensive front for the Rockets to, as you see the replay here, as Spencer drops the ball, but the defensive front for the Rockets had to get up and plug the holes and get a push on the line of scrimmage to allow the linebackers to shoot through, and Luongo and Connor especially, like we saw moments ago, doing the job.
Yeah, absolutely. When your defensive line is doing their job and you know you got run, it makes it real easy for the linebackers to pick a gap to blitz through.
Sheehan on third and 10, rolling to the near side, looking downfield, floats it for Malley at the 35, first down and more, inside the Rocket 25, down inside the 20 now, to the 19-yard line. Big play for the Wellesley Raiders.
Well, again, Sheehan, for the third time in a row, having pretty good time to throw the ball as he rolls right this time. Scalia trying to get in pursuit, just can't get there, and that gives a long enough time for Malley to find a seam in the Rocket defense and picks up the first down.
26 yards on the play from Sheehan to Malley. Ball at the 19-yard line, first and 10. Morrison on the carry, gets a couple of yards, and he's stopped by Sullivan and Luongo. Second and 8 for the Raiders upcoming.
It looks like Malley's limping a little bit out there, Scott. Looks like he's having some trouble with his right leg. He's probably going to go over and check off over to the other sideline, and that's a big help for the Rockets. Wellesley's going to call a timeout as they can't get the right players on the field with Malley going over to the sideline. And I'll tell you what, right now, Scott, the Rockets doing such a good job against the run. Wellesley's starting to have some success with the passing game. As you see the last play, there's a good example. The Rockets doing a nice job stuffing the run. They got the wind at their back, and it looks like Sheehan's getting a pretty good read on it right now. If I'm Wellesley, you got to consider going to the air game. You know, you're down 7, you have to get in the end zone, and the last couple of passing plays they've run, they've had receivers open because the Rockets are concentrating so hard on the run.
And they get those versatile backs into the open field by moving them 10 or 15 yards downfield and floating them a pass in the open field. And it's worked a couple of times on this drive. Finally, we've had a completed pass. The Raiders are down by a touchdown. We've got to have probably 3 or 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We're again unsure, but that's a decent estimate, I would think. And the Wellesley has a decent amount of timeouts remaining. Plenty certainly to do what they want with them at this point. But really, they don't really need timeouts. They're at second and 8 at the Rockets' 17-yard line.
Well, this is where the Rockets really have to clamp down. This is the defensive series of the ball game.
Offensive series for Wellesley as well. A double inside handoff. This is Brissett, and Brissett, a beautiful defensive play by Scott Wade, as no one was there to catch Brissett if Wade had let go of that one.
Wade doing an excellent job standing his ground and keeping Brissett tied up, bringing him down. And that brings up third and about 6, and we have an official timeout.
Third and 6 upcoming after the gain of a couple. Tim Malley is out of the ball game for the last play and for the upcoming play. It looks like Chandler Kane, number 36, taking his place. Chandler Kane scored the game winner against Natick in the final minute. He scored on a 21-yard run that really, I mean, Natick having a tough season, and beating Wellesley would have been huge for them, and Chandler Kane took the wind out of their sails. So a lot of versatility and a lot of depth in the Wellesley backfield.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they have a lot of depth in the backfield, and I think that has a lot to do with the design of this offense. It's geared towards a lot of running backs getting a lot of carries.
That's a good point. Sheehan on 3rd and 6 rolls to the far side, looking for Chandler Kane. Kane has it, and I believe he has the first down. We'll have to wait and see for the spot. It is a first down inside the Rocket 10-yard line.
You see they roll out to the left side, and this pass, although underthrown, Kane doing a nice job adjusting to it and grabbing that ball just before it hit the ground, and they're going to call it 4th and 1.
It is going to be 4th and 1. I was mistaken on the spot of the ball. The nose of the football just inside the Rocket 10-yard line. It's got to be about a foot to go for a Wellesley first down. Both teams huddle up with their coaching staffs, and we're coming down to an exciting finish, Michael.
Yeah, all game long has been bang it out, fumble, 3 and out. And now in the last couple minutes, we've seen a couple of long runs. We've seen a couple of long pass plays. 7-0, time winding down. Wellesley knocking on the door. They're at the 10, and you know this is what you waited for all game long.
Needham looking to end Wellesley's 6-year reign of the Centennial Trophy. The Centennial Trophy started back in 1982, donated by the late Fred Gorman, who was a huge fan of this rivalry. It's kind of patterned after the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi Trophy, and it's really a handsome trophy.
Yeah, it certainly is. Should I do my Jerry Glanville? Here we go!
4th and a foot for the Wellesley Raiders. Straight ahead goes Sheehan, and he has a Wellesley first down. Brett Maddox complaining profusely about moving along the line of scrimmage, but I'm sure it's to no avail.
Yeah,
I don't see any flag.
He's not going to buy that flag. Here we go. Sheehan just totally dives right through, picks up the first down, and right now the Rockets are in a must-stop situation. Is when they get the ball back, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to go downfield, and the Rockets spend another timeout.
That could be the reason they're calling a timeout, so they will have enough time maybe to get the ball going back in the other direction, as apparently the time is winding down. Wellesley is in the hurry-up mode, and that's a good indication that time is winding down. Unfortunately, we don't have communication equipment with the referee on the field, so we have no idea. But what would you say, 2 minutes, Mike?
I'd say maybe even less than that, Scott. The way Wellesley's going at it and the way time's been running down, we haven't had too many penalties. Both teams have been running the ball, and we haven't had any injuries as well. So this clock is pretty much just ticking right down as we go. There you see some of the Wellesley fans over there on the sideline. I believe that's probably the cheerleading squad over there on the Wellesley sideline, trying to get their boys pumped up. And this is getting fun, Scott. It's almost worth being out here in the cold for this.
It really is. 1st and goal for the Raiders at the 7-yard line. Chandler Kane and Rob Morrison are split in the backfield. Brissett as a wingback. Handoff to Morrison on 1st and goal. Across the 5. Touchdown, Raiders! Rob Morrison in from 7 yards out, and the Raiders are on the board late in the 4th quarter.
Well, this may be a blessing in disguise, Scott, that they got in the end zone this quickly. Now the Rockets will get the ball back with more time. And we got the point after attempt. And the Rockets, as we said, special teams unit, they've blocked PATs all season long. I think they have 3 or 4 blocks. I know they had one in Norwood. And the Rockets are definitely going to come after this one.
Would you say this is a big extra point, Mike?
I'd say it's huge.
Ryan Sachs will attempt it through the hold of Chris Moriarty. Good snap. The ball is down, and it is through for the good extra point. Wow, that was one of the more exciting extra points I've seen. But we're tied now at 7 with under 2 minutes left, I believe. that ball kind of floated up there, and I wasn't sure it was going to make it over the crossbar.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick-looking kick. It looked like it might have gone wide, or it might not even have the leg to get there. As there you see it, it just barely comes down inside the upright. And we're tied at 7 with precious little time to play in this ball game.
Yeah, the replay showed it to be a lot stronger kick than I actually thought, but sure looked precarious from this angle. 7-7, our score between Needham and Wellesley. Scott Wade gets his 6th touchdown of the season for the Rockets, and Rob Morrison gets the touchdown for Wellesley moments ago. There is overtime now in high school football. The overtime is not a sudden death, but it is a situation where each team will get a shot at a possession of 4 plays from the 10-yard line, and that certainly is a possibility at this point with the score tied at 7.
Well, the Rockets are all too familiar with the overtime rules, as they've lost 2 heartbreaking overtime games so far this year. Second week of the season, they lost to Milton, and then later in the season, they lost to Norwood on the overtime. And as we mentioned, each team does get 4 plays to get in the end zone or kick a field goal. If you don't get in the end zone, you can kick a field goal in the overtime, and then you turn it around, and the other team gets 4 tries from the 10. Kind of a silly overtime, but that's how they do it.
Ryan Sachs will tee it up for the Raiders. Gets a good boot away. It's going to come down, and this is J.P. Falcone. He takes it at the 10, 20, spins across the 30, breaks a tackle, trying to get to the outside, and he gets out to the 35-yard line. A good return by J.P. Falcone of 25 yards.
J.P. Falcone is one quick spin move away from breaking this one free. We get a good shot of it from our end zone camera. There you see it. Falcone steps aside there, spin there, and if he gets that spin move right there, he breaks that outside, and it could be see you later, baby. But Rockets take over at the 34, and this is going to be interesting to see how they manage the clock. I have no idea how many timeouts they have left.
Who's going to be the hero? Rockets have 1st and 10 at their own 35. Second man through is O'Brien, and he stopped for no gain. Great defensive play there by Tim Mitchell, number 67. And a timeout is called by the Raiders now.
Wellesley obviously wanting to stop the Rockets right here and get the ball back. They do have the wind at their back. The Rockets working into that stiff breeze, and Wellesley thinking if they can hold the Rockets on 3 and out or even 4 downs, they'll get the ball back in good position with the wind at their back and have a chance to put one up and into the end zone with very, very little time left.
Raiders have 1 timeout remaining, and the Rockets have 2 left.
The referee's coming over to discuss this with Coach Johan. Maybe go over exactly how many timeouts Wellesley has and how many timeouts Needham has. Not quite sure what they're discussing out there.
I think both coaches are very curious to know the time in a hurry after each play, what's the status is on the clock, because it's got to be tough for them to manage things from the sideline as well. They got to be able to judge things from their standpoint. 2nd and 10 for the Rockets at their own 35-yard line. Wade and O'Brien are split in the backfield. Buckley is split to the near side, and Hopkins over on the far side. Handoff, no handoff. Boday's looking downfield, looking for Hopkins, and actually Scalia gets it midfield, 45, cuts back inside, 40, 35, and down inside the Wellesley 30-yard line. Big play for the Rockets, no flags.
They're going to say Scalia stepped out of bounds upfield. We got a Wellesley player down. The player that made the tackle on Scalia. We'll get a look at the replay. It's the first time we've seen the waggle today. Bode rolls out. Scalia just finds a seam in the defense, picks up the ball, and they're going to say he stepped out at the 40. And the Wellesley player down on the field, it's Brissett, number 27, and that's a big blow for Wellesley as Malley is already on the sideline. Now to lose Alex Brissett, that's just a huge, huge loss for Wellesley as far as they're concerned.
The ball spotted out of bounds at the Wellesley 48-yard line. Brissett is still down over near the Wellesley 30-yard line where the tackle was made down there finally on Dan Scalia. With the clock stops obviously with the injury, but as well when we come back to action it stops because Scalia stepped out of bounds. First completed pass on the day for Joe Baudet.
And what a great time to complete one. What a great play call by the Rockets. Everybody's still expecting them to go to the run, especially with the wind in their face. And that's the advantage to having Baudet. You can roll him out, and if somebody's open downfield, he can throw it. He found the big tight end right there. Scalia just slipping in between the zone, picking up the first down, and I'll tell you what, this one's getting fun, Scott.
Under a minute remaining, we understand. Not sure how many seconds left. First and 10 for the Rockets. They're in Wellesley territory at the Raider 48-yard line. Baudet under center with Connor and Wade in the backfield. Scalia's lined up over on the far side. Wade gets the carry up the middle, inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Look for the Rockets to call a timeout here. But I guess not.
I don't know that the Rockets have any timeouts. You think if there's that few time, that much time left in the game, they'd be calling them right now. Obviously, they're not too concerned about the clock if they're not calling timeouts, Scott. And they're going with a huddle.
2nd and 6. Connor lines up as a single setback now. Wade goes in motion to the far side. Baudet, deep drop in the pocket, screen to Scalia, but he's got no help. But breaks a tackle inside the 40, 35. Still on his feet inside the Raider 30-yard line. First down, Rockets. That's the Raider 29, and a timeout's going to be called here by the Rockets.
Is this kid special or what, Scott? This is the first time that the screen passes work the way it's supposed to for the Rockets. They let the defensive lineman come, and Scalia does all the work here as he finally gets a couple blockers and gets free for the first down. And that's just a great play and a great play call as the Rockets use the screen to perfection on that play.
When Scalia caught the ball, there were 4 Raider defenders around him. A couple of blockers for the Rockets came in and took care of Chandler Kane, but Scalia did the rest. First and 10 for the Rockets, the nose of the football just inside the 30-yard line.
Well, Scalia's so wide open, and he just freezes and just waits for the blockers to get up and help him out. And picks up yardage down inside the 30. And the Rockets finally call a timeout. We believe they have one left. And Jeff Buckley's got a pretty big foot, Scott. You got to start thinking ahead. You got to think they got to get down definitely inside the 20 for Buckley to have a chance at this. I think he could probably hit 130, maybe in between 30 and 35 yards into this win. Maybe.
Wade and Connor in the backfield are split. Hopkins lined up way over on the far side. Baudet is going to look for him going down that way, and now he's looking back to Scalia, and actually Scalia double covered dangerously close to being intercepted by the Raiders. Actually, Andrew Leahy moving over from his linebacker position. You see him right there on your screen waiting for the defensive signal from the coaching staff. 2nd and 10, upcoming tight end now on the left side with Scalia on the far side. The pitch goes to Wade, running to the far side. He's got Connor in front of him. Inside the 25, inside the 20, and the clock's going to keep running over there, and close to a first down. I believe he has it, which will stop the clock as they move the chains.
Watch this lead block by Sean Connor, number 34, gets out front, picked up the lead block right there. That enables Wade to turn the corner and get the first down. Rockets in the hurry-up offense now.
Baudet is just going to down it, I do believe, right here. He does, and that stops the clock. Still unsure how much time is remaining. We could be seeing Jeff Buckley.
Here comes Buckley right now, and this will be a 36, 37-yarder from this distance. And if there's enough time left, Scott, I'd like to see him run one more play. I believe they do have a timeout left. Wellesley's going to take a timeout here.
That's Wellesley's final timeout. I believe Needham still has one remaining.
And I really wish we knew how much time was left, because if there's 20 seconds or so left in this ball game, Scott, you'd like to see him run at least another play, maybe try to pick up another 4 or 5 yards to make this a much more makeable field goal for Jeff Buckley. Not knowing how much time is left, it's hard to say.
Well, right now he's lining it up on the 27-yard line on the right hash mark, which makes it a 37-yard kick into a stiff breeze, and he's kicked a 45-yard field goal in practice, so he's certainly capable of kicking field goals with a significant distance. However, it's into a wind, it's from the right hash, and he's a lonely man right there on the middle of the field during this timeout.
Well, Jeff Buckley stands a chance of being a real big hero here. If he can hit this field goal, he's going to move that tee just a little closer, and he's going to have to get this ball up in the air in a hurry. Nothing really to lose here. Buckley misses it, you gave it your best shot. If he hits it, he's the biggest hero in the town to Needham in the last 10, 15 years.
Bill Carr is the center, Hopkins the holder. Buckley, his kick is blocked. Uh-oh, and here comes Ryan Sachs the other way. Hopkins going to have to chase him down from behind, and he catches up with him at the Rocket 30-yard line. A huge play for the Raiders that time, and oh, what a devastating play for the Rockets. We might see a field goal attempt the other way for the
Here
Raiders.
we go, Buckley, and he just didn't get it up. He towed the top of the ball and just kicked it right into the line, Scott. If we can re-rack this, right at the end of this replay, re-rack it and show it again, Buckley just totally mishits the ball and hits the line of scrimmage, and it just comes right back at him. This ball never gets off the ground. It just goes right into the line and then just bounces right back up into the hands, and it's just a foot race at this point in time. And now Wellesley, I don't think Wellesley's going to get a playoff, as I think that ate up the rest of the clock, and we could be headed for overtime. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. The referee coming over to the Rocket sideline.
Hopkins showing super speed on the play to catch up with Ryan Sachs. I mean, if Hopkins doesn't catch up with him, that's a touchdown, and for all intents and purposes, Wellesley wins the game.
Yeah, because I believe we're out of time. Because we're gonna head out to midfield and toss the coin, and you got to think they're gonna go down to this far end zone here to run these plays with the wind at everybody's back.
I would say so, Michael.
And wow, I tell you what, Scott, bizarre football game we've seen so far today. I mean, it's only 7-7, but we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen turnovers, we've seen block kicks, we've seen missed kicks, we've seen big plays, everything you could ever really want out of a Thanksgiving Day football game between Needham and Wellesley.
And we hope you all at home have enjoyed it. Those of you who couldn't make it down here to Memorial Park, and those of you who are getting ready for the big Thanksgiving Day dinner, I'm sure you'll all be having later on this afternoon. It's been a great day for both sides. I mean, it's been a great game, and it really is a tribute to the way the two teams have played.
Yeah, we built this as it was going to be, you know, a defensive type game. We advertised lots of running, and we've had all that. Let's go over the overtime rules just one more time here, Scott. They're going to flip the coin to see who gets the ball first and who goes on defense first. They'll place the ball at the 10-yard line, and each team will have 4 tries to score from there. There's no sudden death. If, you know, Needham has the ball first and they score, Wellesley gets their 4 plays from the 10 to try to tie the ball game should Needham get in the end zone. And if it's tied at the end of the overtime, we go home and eat turkey.
The edge in overtime experience has got to go to the Rockets. They've had 2 overtimes this year, as you said a few minutes ago, and of course they came up with losses against Milton and against Norwood in overtime. And let's hope they've learned from those losses and are able to take the ball into the end zone for the Rocket side of the ball. On the other hand, Wellesley, as I said to start the fourth quarter, is an excellent late game team. They've come back again here, and they've made it a ball game, and here we go into overtime.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go on this overtime. And you know, we have said that Needham has had 2 overtime games, but on the other hand, they have lost both, so their overtime record's 0-2. You know, it's been a last couple of years of Rockets breaking streaks. Maybe they can break this overtime streak as well.
The Rockets are looking to go to 500, break the 500 mark for the first time in 4 years. They're going to move down to the right side of the field. And the captains shake hands out there. Leahy, O'Connor, and Malley for the Raiders, Scalia, Hopkin, and O'Brien for the Rockets. And they flip the coin to see who will have the ball first and who will have the ball second. And which would you rather have, Mike? Would you rather have the ball first, or and put the pressure on, or have the last chance at it?
If I'm Needham, I want my defense out there. They've played solidly all game long. You show some confidence in them. You tell them, boys, you played a solid game. Go out and do it just one more time. If I'm Wellesley, on the other hand, I definitely want the football. I want to get in the end zone. We scored the last touchdown. We have a little bit of momentum. We got the juices flowing from that big missed field goal right there. You want the ball, and you want to put the pressure on the Rockets to score.
And as you see, as you wish, Michael, Rockets will be on defense and the Raiders will be on offense. Lots of fans moving down towards that end of the field.
When you come down to something like this, you want the strongest part of your football team on the field first. Obviously, the Rockets feel their defense is the strongest, and Wellesley feels their offense is the strongest.
Jay Stroll asking for help over on the far side against Paul Spencer. In motion comes Morrison. Morrison gets the handoff, cuts back inside to the 6, and it's going to bring up second down. Second and goal for the Raiders. They get 4 cracks at scoring. They can attempt a field goal after the third one, or actually after any play, but realistically after the third down.
The Raiders pick up 4 yards on that play, and if they're going to pick up 4 yards on a carry, they're going to get in the end zone. So Rockets got to be a little bit tighter here.
Tim Malley's back in there, coming off the sidelines. He was limping earlier. Second and goal in overtime. Wellesley has the ball first. Movement along the line of scrimmage. Andrew Leahy, number 68, charged across the line. It's going to be second and goal, but they're going to move it back 5 yards to the 13-yard line.
The Rockets
play for the Rockets.
Rockets going to bring in different defensive formation now as they send in 2 extra defensive backs, get a couple of the big guys off the field, preparing for a passing down, and that's just a huge mistake on the part of Wellesley.
Ball's at the 13. Malley and Morrison are in the backfield, and again, Morrison gets the call. He's struggling forward, charging towards the 5. He's down at the 6, I believe, maybe the 7. It's going to bring up third and goal. Rocket defense is held so far.
It's getting tough for us to tell who's exactly getting the ball here for Wellesley. This time it goes to Morrison. He turns it back inside, and again, Luongo's over there to make the initial hit and knock Morrison off balance a bit. 3rd and 6.
And Wellesley's going to call a timeout. They want to talk it over. And I guess you can probably get an extra timeout or 2 here in overtime. Don't know the specifics of that rule, but
your guess is as good as mine. If you have 1 left at the end of regulation, maybe they let you carry that over into the overtime. Maybe they give you 1 into the overtime. I can't imagine if you have 4 plays from the 10 that they'd give you a timeout. Either you get in the end zone or you don't. So maybe if you have 1 left at the end of the game, they allow you to carry it over.
For this play, Coach Johan will send Frank Fiola, number 65, and Rob Knights, a senior, number 74. They'll be in the Rocket defensive unit for this play that's upcoming. 3rd and goal from the 6.
The Rockets over here on their sideline are preparing. Bill Carr practicing a couple of long snaps and a couple of placements for their opportunity. Get a pretty good shot at a couple of the coaches on the Rocket coaching staff. Wellesley getting set for their 4th play from scrimmage. 3rd one that's actually counted.
Sheehan looked like he's calling a play at the line of scrimmage. It's tough to call it with this crowd going crazy here at Memorial Park in Needham. 3rd and goal from the 6. We're in overtime. Straight ahead is Malley. Malley to the goal line. But brought down shy of the goal line, a couple of yards shy. It's going to bring up 4th down. What do you do, Mike?
This is a tough call. I think you gotta get some sort of points on the board and definitely put pressure on the Rockets. It's a chip shot. I think they can make it. You might as well go ahead and try the field goal.
Ryan Sachs, the kicker, is in there. He's going to set it up over on the left hash mark.
Wellesley better hurry up. I believe the clock's going, and if they're not careful, they may run out of time and make it a little bit tougher on themselves.
He's teeing it up on the 10-yard line. Mark Barron is the center. Chris Moriarty is the holder. A 20-yard field goal attempt. High snap. Moriarty does a good job, and Sachs gets it through. The Raiders have the lead, 10-7, with the Rockets' possession still to come here in overtime.
Now, see, the reason why you want to get those points on the board, now if Needham wants to win the game, they have to get in the end zone. There you see the replay, no doubt about that one, as that one got through, right through the middle with plenty to spare. So now the Rockets have their 4 chances. They have to get in the end zone if they want to win. Good decision by Coach Levin. It's just a chip shot with the wind at your back. Put the points on the board. Take your chances.
You force the other team, you put the pressure on the other team to score some points. 20-yard field goal by Ryan Sachs. And Wellesley has their first lead of the game at 10-7. Rockets will have 4 cracks at it. The first play will come from the 10-yard line, and they'll line it up over on the left hash mark.
Well, they're probably lining it on the left half mark if they have their option on that. There you see the kick one more time. If they have their option, you want to go to left because Baudet is a right-hander. He probably throws better going to his right, and obviously the Rockets will pull better to the right side. So go with your strength.
Hopkins lines up to the near side. Bly in the slot this way. O'Brien, the lone setback. Scalia comes in motion to the near side. Baudet is going to roll this way. It looks like he's going to keep it. O'Brien gets a good block. Baudet trying to get to the outside, but he loses a yard. Big defensive play by Ryan Sachs on Joe Baudet. And the Rockets didn't have a good beginning to their overtime possession that time.
No, and that play was received not very well by the fans here at on the Rocket sideline as they've seen that play a little too many times today, and Wellesley's seen it enough that they know what's coming as well. Now they're on the right hash mark. Maybe go with a little play action here, Scott, if you want Baudet to put the ball up in the air. Otherwise, give it a Wade and let's see if he can get in the end zone.
Connor, the single setback on 2nd and goal. Baudet sends Wade in motion to the far side. Baudet straight back to pass. Looking in the end zone. Touchdown! No, it's incomplete! No, it's incomplete! Incomplete pass as the sideline was about to go crazy, and I was about to go crazy as well. That looked like the winner for the Rockets.
Well, Jeff Buckley was open, and Baudet got him the ball just a little bit late, and I don't think Buckley was able to hold on to the ball, and no catch. As Baudet dropped straight back, had plenty of time. He's looking around, he's looking for somebody. There's the ball, and it just batted away by number 25.
Ryan
Sachs. And Sachs almost came up with the INT. So now things are very interesting. It's 3rd down, and they're on the 11-yard line.
I asked moments ago who's going to be the hero. Ryan Sachs kicks the 20-yard field goal, makes the play on Baudet for a loss of a yard, breaks up the play in the end zone. Ryan Sachs coming up huge here in overtime for Wellesley. Needham's called a timeout. They have 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line, and they really need to pull the best play out of the playbook for the play that's upcoming. Might as well. It's the last play of the year on offense. They'll probably go for a field goal on 4th down, although that's the coach's decision if he wants to tie it or go for the game winner.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Johan, probably the type of guy that wants to go for the win, and there's no shame in that. If you lose going for the win, I really don't think people are going to question it. Nobody likes to tie a game.
Okay.
I think they're going to have to try to throw for the end zone unless they're going to think that they have 2 plays to get in the end zone.
2 tight ends in the formation. Connor and Wade are in the backfield. Hopkins, the lone receiver. The pitch comes to Wade, reverse to Hopkins. Hopkins trying to get to the outside, looking in the end zone. Scalia is there. Touchdown! Touchdown, Needham! The Rockets win! Dan Scalia caught the pass from Hopkins on the reverse, and they pulled it out of the hat. The Rockets win. They break the 6-year streak.
Scott, I'll tell you what, they were working on this play yesterday. I was down here in practice, the reverse halfback pass, and I tell you what a great time to pull it out of your hat. And we can get a look at it here. This works perfectly. They hand it to him, the pitch, everybody thinking sweep. Hopkins comes over, Scalia wide open for about a day and a half in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, the Rockets win.
What a play. I said you might as well pull the best play out of the book. Look at that.
I tell you what, John Freitas jumping up and down, jumping about a mile high. This works to perfection. Sweep left, sweep left. No, sorry, we're going to bring it back. And Scalia was open for about a day. Look at him. The only question was Hopkins got to get him the ball inbounds. Scalia doing a great job pulling that one down, keeping his concentration. What a great victory for the Needham Rockets here this afternoon.
It really was, and the two teams, Wellesley's getting ready to shake hands with Needham over there. You got to give credit to Wellesley for coming back and making a great game out of it. Wellesley breaks the streak of 6 games by Wellesley. Needham breaks the streak of 6 games by Wellesley, and the final score, Needham 13, Wellesley 10.
And all that action packed right into the last quarter plus. And wow, what a finish to a great day.
Really has been a great day, and we hope you've all enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed bringing you the game. The final you see on the screen right there is 13-10. The Rockets win it in a thriller in overtime. We'd like to thank all of our crew here with Continental Cablevision, led by our director, Peter Stratelski, in the truck. But we pulled out all the stops for this one on Continental Cablevision today.
Yeah, definitely. And we'd like to thank our crew from the Wellesley channel coming over, helping us out, bringing over a couple of their volunteers as well. And what a big production and what a great day it's been, Scott. I need to eat some turkey and have a cold one.
And what a way to finish. Scalia, the big play man for the Rockets all year. And Hopkins combining with Scalia, the tri-captains combining for the game winner against Wellesley in their senior year.
Yeah, and
they're going to remember it the rest of their lives.
Not to mention Scott Wade with that big play, that 57-yard run that really started the whole thing off. And, you know, praise the defense. We talked about him before. And let's take one final look at the play that's going to go down in a lot of people's minds over the year. Here we go. We're going to get a look at it. Once again, the reverse option pass, and they disguise it well. Hopkins does a nice job avoiding a tackle, and look how wide open Scalia is in the end zone. What a great play call, and you got to give Coach Freitas, Coach Johan, and the whole staff a big pat on the back.
You really do. The Rockets finished the year at 5-5 on the season, their first 500 season in 4 years. The Raiders fall to 7-3, but certainly they have nothing to hang their heads about, and just a great game. Needham finishes the season with back-to-back wins over Walpole and Wellesley, which is just gigantic for this program.
Got to feel good about next year already.
You really do. We're going to wrap this up here at Memorial Park in Needham. I can't help my excitement, Michael. It's been another great season here on the Needham channel. You get a look at a lot of the people who have helped us here in today's broadcast, as producer-director Peter Stratelski shows you the credits. Is Bob Coleman coming back from school to technical direct, and you see Brendan Nutra and a few of the other names. Tamara Green, terrific on graphics today.
We got to thank our cameraman, Joe Foley, Paul Newcomb, Peter Rowan, and Rob Wallace. There you see the announcers. You know us already. And a big pat on the back to that man right there, our statistician, John DeCepolo, who left New York at about 4 o'clock this morning to get here for this ball game.
Thank you very much, John. A terrific job up here in the booth with us. The final score once again, Needham 13, Wellesley 10. Thanks for joining us here, everybody, and have a great Thanksgiving Day.